slamming him, reporting him, doing whatever you guys do best. It's time to take his page. We're going after his page now.
Right? That is the link you go to get actually a hold of YouTube, and you make sure these people suffer the same fate I suffer. You know what I'm saying? The turtles are massive. We're a large group. Take over the Twitter realm and make sure justice is served. You know what I'm saying?
And I want it to be cute. I want it to be cute. There was a hate channel, a new clip channel. It just reached 1,000 subs. You know what I did? I hit him with a copyright. People have to wait.
Okay. So I was so exhausted after my long day of doctor stuff 2 days ago when I streamed last that I actually took yesterday off and I rested, but mainly because I needed to. I really did need to. Let me make sure we're... Oh, I love it when you do this to me, YouTube. I'm gonna figure out why you're doing this. Give me this yellow sign in the beginning of a stream, YouTube. I'll figure it out one day. And, hey guys, Jen, Sang, Barbie, Feathers, how are you? Karen, how are you? Barbie, Tina, Mimi of 8, good to see you. Hey, Cool Gamer, ELC Bell, Chiba, hey everyone, Green Frog, Scarlet. Yeah, we've got to do what I was gonna do in that extra stream I put on when I got back from the doctor a couple days ago. But if you tuned into that, I was punch drunk silly from not getting much sleep and then having to be gone the entire day. So I basically just made jokes and hung out with you guys. We're actually going to get through this video from Chronicles of the Shady. Then we need to talk about fair use. We need to talk about fair use, not just because you are going to see hard evidence that Betty, Molly, and their friends use fair use as a way to break the law, to false strike channels that they don't like. But even further, I want to talk about fair use because I do believe there are people in our community that don't understand the tenets of fair use. And I'm no expert, but I do know some of the rules due to the fact that I've had to follow them for years. And then also a story that we covered recently involving a serial DMCA or copyright abuser was very massive across the platform, and many crazy things happened that I don't even want to touch with a 10-foot pole because I would have to talk forever to get to communicate it to you. But I will update you on that story in a few weeks because I'm doing a whole thing on it, because I think making people aware of what fair use is and getting people to understand it a little better will help everybody across the board. It will help you to realize just how wrong and just how nasty and just how messed up what they're admitting to in this clip, in these clips. Really, it's much worse than you could ever think once you do understand the things that back fair use. So I'm not going to bore you with all that. That's the intro because we got a lot to do. It's 4/8 of 2023. I'm your host, UNIRock, broadcasting from the East Coast of the glorious United States of America. As always, wherever you're from is glorious too. Been many places, love the people everywhere I went. Let's get going at right after 4 o'clock p.m. on the East Coast. Here we go. This video shows that these people are pathological liars, pathological DMCA abusers. They don't have a single solitary concern for the rights or the free speech of other people, and they are just the bullies we know them to be. But it's a good compilation from Chronicles of the Shady. Make sure you check them out. Let's get this done. We're gonna skip through it.
Wait a little longer for that fucking monetization, motherfucker, just to be cute. That's why I do it.
So yes, like I said, I think I did mention this in my last stream. Nice for you to admit you're breaking the law and abusing the system to try and, I guess, mess with somebody else. That'd be like you admitting to a judge in a court case that you're filing this court case against this person just to mess with them, and the judge is going to, you know, be furious over that. But anyway,
I'm very calculated. I can take some channels down right now. You click channel.
You did. You weren't lying.
Because let me tell you something.
You
YouTube's picking up a lot of my shit. And you can swirl the faces, you can put little things on it, but YouTube's still picking it up.
That has nothing to do with you false striking anybody, but okay. Oh, and here's where it gets dubious. I want you to watch the body language of Betty. Very short clips. This is straight evil. This is why she's so dangerous, because she will target innocent children. She is that out of her mind. She's that stalkery. She's that much of a creep. She is a danger to children. Admitting this, she is definitely a danger to children.
Like I said, I don't need to ask anybody anything about them. If I want to know something about you, I will know everything there is to need to know about you.
None of us have ever doubted that. It's why we all don't like you or respect you. In fact, I'd say it's why no one does. Like they just love advertising.
Literally everything. I'll know where your children go to school. I'll know where your parents.
I doubt that. I doubt you'll know these things unless they've posted it publicly on social media. I doubt you'll know any of these things.
Live. I'll know whether your grandparents.
I'm gonna stalk your grandparents. I'm gonna stalk your parents, and I'm gonna even stalk innocent children. I will take away the rights of those innocent kids because I'm mad at you.
Parents are dead or alive. I'll know where your sister lives. I'll know where your aunt and uncles are from. I'll know where you're born from.
You would have known this if you just would have listened to my streams, though. Everything except for the kids stuff.
I don't need to ask people about their past because I will have it in print in front of my face.
That's the stare of a psychopath, everybody. When you see another human being making this face, run for the hills or be prepared for the consequences.
So, again, I suggest you do your due diligence on me before you start running your trap.
Oh, we all did. 5 domestics, 42 different whatevers. You're probably one of the most prolific abusers that have a YouTube channel right now.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Everybody, all these people with all their investigative skills.
So I'm not going to click through the rest. We watched it a couple streams ago. There's a lot more nasty stuff, but you saw it. We looked at this the other day when I had gotten back from the doctor. Now, I am going to be a little groggy today because I've rested a little too much. It's the opposite of 2 days ago, so you can pick whether you like the silly UNIRock from a couple days ago. Watch that one. You can pick whether you like the to the point guy over here and watch this one. It's up to you. But what this video goes to show you to get this done is that these are the most absolute hypocritical people out there. We're playing this so that you can compare it to what not just they're saying, but what they're saying on panels they're going on, what they're saying on the new platform Kick that they've decided to go to. I have some screenshots. I don't know if I'm going to show them because it was like Molly streamed to a whole -1 people. I don't even know how that's possible. And then ended it after she realized nobody was showing up for her stream. And when you look at the things they're saying, the excuses that they're making, you've seen the hit list, right? I didn't really go into depth on the hit list. I just mentioned it in passing, though I did debunk the hit list. I did show the absolute hypocrisy of the hit list and the person that made the hit list right here, where I show you that 6up Media, basically 6up just does a stream to maybe 400 to 600 people and has a really good stream covering what 6up thinks is what you should see about the whole subject. I have no clue how 6up does anything wrong in covering these people, well, other than make them look bad, because you can't make someone who is as bad as them look good no matter how hard you try. You'd have to lie to make them look good. Then you've got Chronicles of the Shady, the person that did the video that we just looked at, Heels in the Air, Queen Bee, Curious AF, me, little old me. Nonsense as a Queen Bee mod. That kind of shows you. I didn't elaborate in my last stream why I laughed at that so much or felt that it was so crazy. because it's saying that Nonsense, who is a creator that actually has a lot of people that have watched Nonsense to get caught up on things that they've missed, involving whether they're people that used to watch Molly and just very recently left her stream, or whether it's people from all around the community. They go there because she's more of this niche tracker of things Molly has done, including Betty and others, but not as much because she's very well versed on what happened there, especially after Dre. So to see her labeled as a mod, I don't know if that's them trying to take a dig at Nonsense. We won't admit she's a creator with a big live stream. We'll just say she's a mod for a big live stream, Queen Bee, feel me? So Nunya's on here as a Nonsense mod. Down the rabbit hole, Pork Chop. Now, Pork Chop has a channel or not? I don't know. Pork Chop has a very awesome Twitter. Butthurt Betty 420. I don't even know who that is. I would assume it's somebody that criticizes Betty, which is a very awesome name. I love it. Navy Tech, labeled as Unimod. Kathy P, labeled as a Nonsense mod. Kathy P was a Unimod long before Kathy P was a Nonsense mod, just so you know. Makeup Mobster, Couch Clips, Tragedy Pimps Exposed, The Glarer, Lippy, Savage Life, Burnt Toast, House of Williams, Diamond Cutter, and Her Ambiguous Darkness, okay? Now, again, they lied to say that we were all, I suppose, you have to assume, like always, because they don't even know how to logically explain what they're trying to say, but they're insinuating by mass flagging campaign, Twitter, YouTube, that we all congregated together and inappropriately used either or including Twitter and YouTube. I don't know why they put both of them on there when we did everything we did on Twitter. I know Heels did everything she did on Twitter. Everything Burnt Toast did was on Twitter, involving tagging Team YouTube, I probably could say the same about many of the other creators on here. Haven't seen a single clip from any of these people that have actively told people they should congregate people together and go mass report single videos to try and inappropriately get a video taken down. Again, I also showed you in the last stream that the person that made this list actually participates in mass reporting campaigns on the Reggie, okay, on the regular, just completely invalidating the hypocritical lie. I mean, this isn't even true for us. Obviously, this person's very guilty because they know they've done this. You feel me? And that's why they have...
I have to tell you...
What? Oh, Menace has us some stuff, y'all. Menace got us some stuff. We also are about to watch a Menace video. Menace has completely decimated... Hey, who's that? Oh, I don't want to miss it. Mellow One, thank you. Shouldn't she get the hit list tattooed on her back as long as it's a tramp stamp? As long as it can't be hidden when she's at the beach or at a barbecue and it's really low on her lower back. By the way, I enjoy a good tramp stamp. That would be a funny tramp stamp, though. That wouldn't be a good one. That'd be a funny one. We're going to look at Menace to Sobriety's video. But you must go click it on his channel, and you must like it, and you must subscribe. Menace is killing it. His channel's blowing up right now. We got to keep this train going. Also, I will ask you to do me a solid. If you want to support our show in other ways than the ways we have listed, there's a new way to support the show in the description. Even if you just go look at this listing, it would help us immensely. One of my friends, a person who served with my brother on all of his deployments, wrote a novel and was published and picked up. I'm sharing the link in the chat right here. If you could just check it out. You don't have to order it. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to read it. I just want you to look at the listing on Amazon and read just the little description so that you can decide whether you'd like it, okay? I think it's excellent. I think it's great that he's done this and been able to find success in it. And I just want to help as much as I can. So for the hardcore peeps out there that follow me, Especially those of you that like to watch me game, you've got to check that link out. It's in the description, and now it's in the chat. Of course, you can support me by liking this video and all that good stuff. And it would really help if you want to support me on PayPal or Cash App, paypal.me/UNIRock, or $UNIRock on Cash App. And I've said all of that so that we can roll in to our next video. Coming from menace to sobriety, was Molly Golightly mass reported off the platform? He handles everything. He handles all of it. Even the potato heads were live. When they got to Menace's video, they were watching nonsense. When they got to Menace's video being played on nonsense, they very quickly skipped past it because they knew that they couldn't let their followers see Menace's proof. Because if their followers saw what Menace posted, they would know that the potato heads, Molly, and Perplexed were all lying. Let's take a look.
We're going to debunk a potato patch porky. This myth has been their main talking point since Molly's channel went down like the Titanic.
I am going to pause through this to make sure you know that her Airbnb listing has been removed and it has not come back up as of the last time I looked. It looks like she has been acted on by Airbnb to be removed from their platform, but I can't tell you officially because I'm not her.
And that is that we, you and I, managed to get Molly's channel terminated.
Jade, that is an excellent idea. Thank you. That's
by way of mass flagging.
What they decided to do was...
Oh my gosh, you finally can, while you're not hardly wearing any clothing whatsoever, finally be featured on my channel. You are going to be tickled purple for the next 3 weeks because you finally got to be on my channel. There you go. You can tick that off of your bucket list.
As mass flag Molly's channel, which is in itself against TOS.
You notice how she just lies like the wind? I always call out the fact that they will say anything about anyone, and then they'll cry like you will never hear them cry when actual factual evidence exposes they have doxed, they have done something wrong, they have lied, they are framing other creators, which is exactly what she and her friends are doing. But continue.
This wasn't one day of mass reporting. This...
What Instagram filter are you using that is so powerful that it blends your mouth and nose into your face to the point where I seriously think you just look like a potato? Like, I'm sorry, they need to actually put the lips and the nose on this potato head. This Instagram filter is knocking those things off of this potato head.
This was weeks of it. Weeks.
So this is...
So they both notice how they have coordinated together in order to try to lie to the small group of people who Molly has demanded go watch them so they can finally have a few viewers. And they're just lying. They don't show any evidence. They don't show any clips. They don't show any proof because they can't. It's just a lie. Again, they're acting like you on your channel. If you witness another creator that you've been covering, all of a sudden, just start maliciously doxing, maliciously beating someone senseless, showing nudity on their platform, that you can't say out loud, oh my God, someone should report that. It's against TOS. Because of course you can. If it's true, it's like defamation. If I say your channel is the most liar channel in the world, and I play a bunch of lies that you've told, I didn't defame you. I'm showing the proof, all the lies you're telling, to show how dishonest your channel is, how worthless your brand is. You can't say that I'm defaming you at that point. It's like saying that Molly, they're ignoring what Molly did. She broke TOS for as long as we were reacting to the things she was doing every day, most of the time. And most of the time, even when she wasn't streaming from her home and she was like streaming on location at a party or in her car, she broke TOS even more most of the time when she was out there. And what really bothers me is that these people are saying that the victim, this innocent person that's not a public figure, who rented a room and then had their room broadcasted, spied upon, them in their no pants on, just with a long t-shirt, going in their areas they've rented. Somehow it's okay to broadcast that, completely against the rules. And to go a step further, though, even if that was all that was there, Molly should have been banned. But she showed her license after illegally and inappropriately saving it on her phone when she was asked not to by this woman. Thus, I could name all of the different things she did to victimize and abuse this woman. I don't have to, because it's obvious, though they're saying that this woman isn't valid to wear. If you want to break TOS against that woman, according to these potato heads, is why they're called potato heads. If you want to break TOS against this woman, it doesn't count. It doesn't matter to them. This is a lesser person to them. Molly is a greater person or godlike to them. She can do whatever she wants.
Just a group of creators that I had put together that had mass flagged Molly.
Okay, do you have any evidence? Because you know that you defaming people is just as bad as what you're accusing other people of. You realize this. But then again, you have no credibility. Nobody trusts you. Everybody knows that you lie every time you open your mouth. So I guess it really doesn't matter that you're still lying your ass off. What we're showing isn't that you're lying. That's expected. We're showing that Molly put you up to this. Molly put you up to this while paying you publicly very large sums of money. Your argument says that if a YouTuber super chats another YouTuber $20, they are on that YouTuber's payroll. Both of you have made this, criticism so many times, but we're talking about $100 donation while you both are in concert are actively lying. Listen to this, and avoiding the evidence from being shown on your channels. Like I said, they were reacting to nonsense. Nonsense plays Menace's video, this video, because they've already seen it and because they know what's coming. Their lies are going to be exposed on the channel they're lying on. They skipped the video. Pretty crazy. Shows a lot of intent.
Here's the one that is in charge of mass reporting on Twitter.
It's not mass reporting. You cannot mass report on Twitter. You cannot mass report on Twitter. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you even know what mass reporting is? Mass reporting is trying to trick the algorithm into taking a video down by giving it a bunch of reports. So many reports that it takes the video down. Long ago on YouTube, this used to be a problem. People could do this, but in the last year, YouTube has claimed to make changes to where you cannot mass report on YouTube. You already can't mass report on Twitter because tagging Team YouTube is tagging a team. They don't have the ability. There is no thing built into Twitter to automatically knock down a YouTube video because a bunch of reports gets filed. You are lying. You are lying and lying and lying. You're just stacking your lies.
And these things that this person was listing on Perplex channel there, like none of these are TOS related.
What? Well, don't worry, because we literally have the potato heads admitting that Molly broke TOS to a point that she would get her channel banned. So they change what they're saying when they need to, okay? You got to remember, there's only one reason they were going around admitting that Molly does dox her ass off constantly on the platform. They admit that, but when they do these streams, after Molly has come to them and given them large payments, they say that Molly didn't break TOS. But you know, that's just them not being able to keep track of the things that they actively say because they're this bad at what they're doing.
How does this excuse her being mass reported?
She wasn't mass reported. You haven't proven that she's been mass reported. You haven't explained a single bit. You're just making the claim over and over and over again.
Calling for a mass flagging.
And now notice how the same people who have been accused of helping with the Marvon fraud raiser, the people who had access to the Marvon fraud raiser accounts, the ones that lied, defended Molly, and even when Molly had been exposed to be directly lying about Dre in many of the things that she said, hypocritically most of the time, they still defended Molly even then. Wow, seems like they might have been in on it too. Or else why would they lie for her so much?
That's like somebody's channel. It's against TOS to take a certain channel and constantly go after them without rotation. Like, that's harassment.
Without rotation? What do you know? No. A mass flag, just so you know, would be if creators got together in a Discord server, or maybe if they did it live on their stream. But again, you aren't making these claims because number one, they're not true. And number two, you just prove you don't even know what mass flagging is. Mass flagging would be where we all got together and plotted and planned to go get all of our audiences to go spam her channel at the same time, the same video, with reports, so that the algorithm would yank the video down before a team had the opportunity to look at the video and fact check it for TOS violations, right? If somebody has violated TOS in an obvious way, now if it's borderline, you could make your argument. Molly didn't violate TOS borderline. She did it in an obvious way. And it's not, even if we had done those things that you are kind of insinuating we did, it wouldn't be mass flagging if Molly was robbing a bank on her live stream and a bunch of creators that were all streaming at the same time linked up together and said, we've got to report this. This can't be broadcasted. And then people reported it and it went down. It still wouldn't be mass reporting because she was robbing the bank, breaking TOS. Where do you get your brains? Do you rent them? Are they part of the potato head collection when you buy the box and have the little potato toy? Have you been forgetting to open the back of the potato head and stick the brain in? What is going on with y'all? You don't even know the definitions of the things that you're trying to lie and claim other people are doing.
That's stalking at this point.
And now it's stalking and harassment. It's stalking and harassment for people who react to Molly to pull up a recent video of hers, see her just completely violating this woman and abusing this tenant of hers, privacy, her rights, her everything. And somehow, even when those creators do not incite their audience to go mass report the channel, we've mass reported, because we haven't. I didn't. I know for a fact I didn't. And I haven't seen any video clip or anything that proves any other creator instigated their audience to mass report Molly. It just doesn't exist.
Right there with all of them talking about mass flagging Molly on Twitter. And I really think that
you can't mass flag on Twitter. You can't. When are you going to get this through your head? We know that you know this. We know. And I know Molly told you to say this. At some point, though, you're going to have to grow up a little and look at Molly and say, Molly, we can't go on our channels and tell people that they mass flagged by tagging Team YouTube on Twitter, because that isn't mass flagging. Getting YouTube to look at Molly's TOS violation through Twitter is not mass flagging. It doesn't fit the definition. How do you square that YouTube literally tells us to do this on Twitter when we witness someone doing what Molly did? How is it against the rules when it's the rules of YouTube?
that the mass flagging Molly or whatever is in revenge.
I mean, at this point, I don't even think she knows what she's talking about. I literally think she's reading a script because she keeps looking at the same spot and she's not carrying her words. She's not convicted in what she's saying. You can tell she's not pulling it from her memory or from her logically deducing what she's saying. You can just tell. It's like she's reading a checklist, right?
I think that is calling for a mass flagging.
You have to stop thinking at this point, LB. Your brain is absolutely broken. I went to the VA and proved that you have been lying and vet bashing me this whole time, and you claimed that because I defended myself and went and did that I was bullying you. Again, you don't consider vet bashing, defamation, complete lying on somebody, any of those things. Attacking a veteran just because he has an opinion you don't like on YouTube because it exposes you and your friends doing some highly inappropriate, messed up stuff to people that are experiencing tragedies. You literally get triggered, and then you go out and say these things and lie about me in the way you did. And if I go and you guys told me you wanted me to prove that I was a veteran. You said you wanted me to go do this. So now all of a sudden I'm bullying you. It's same concept. Same concept, right? Because you guys know, LB, you have participated in reporting Katie Joy in Discord servers on Twitter and other places in massive ways. And I will not say that you tagging Team YouTube on Twitter is mass reporting Katie Joy, because it's not. It would be false reporting her if she didn't break TOS. But when you did it through Discord servers, you guys got several anti-Katie Discord servers to post it at the same time and try to go out and tag her on YouTube to get her deleted. Again, not realizing that by tagging on YouTube, there can't be an algorithmic mistake that would be the desired outcome of mass reporting. Mass reporting, any large amounts, large volumes of reporting would not be mass reporting if it happened where there's no algorithm. But you're just not smart enough to understand this, the three of you.
And people want to bring up today or whatever why she was mass reported, but this had been multiple reports, whatever. This had been an ongoing onslaught.
Ongoing onslaught. So it wasn't that she broke TOS for hate speech that you agree with and that your friends agree with, because you've been defending her on this hate speech the whole time. 2 different videos hit for hate speech. It's not that we even have proof that Molly was struck before any of this happened also and had strikes on her channel from previous videos that she tried to delete where she doxed and spoke hate speech. You want to say that her being reported for hate speech that YouTube immediately says is absolute hate speech is now some kind of wrong thing? So the application of YouTube's rules when it is against your enemies is the best thing ever, and you can engage in definition mass and false reporting when it's your enemy. But when it happens to be one of the people you support breaking the actual TOS rules at the highest level, somehow it's wrong. You aren't making sense. You look really unintelligent and uneducated here. And that's the nicest possible way that I can say it.
That's what this means. And that's what this was.
No. See, when you say something, your words like this, in order for people to know that it was that or that it is that, you could go and grab the proof that this happened, but you didn't. You still haven't, and you are proving to the entire platform for like the 9th time in your case, Elmo KC, that you are a pathological clout-chasing liar, which we're very happy, since you want to lie on everybody, you'll at least let them know how dishonest you are while lying on them.
And why? Because they didn't like her. They don't.
Actually, no, I liked Molly. So you're lying again. When I first stumbled upon her, I talked about how I liked the comedy that she did, and I liked those other types of skits. I've said this so many times that my face would be blue. You just don't care to lie and lie and lie and lie. Well, I don't know Molly personally, and I would need to know her personally to either like her or not like her. What do I not like about her? What she does. I don't like what she does. I don't like how she treats other people. Towards the end, when she was doxing and threatening and harassing people just like crazy the last week or two, sure, I would say I didn't like her because her entire existence was doing those things. But for the most major time of me covering Molly, all I've ever done is given her advice, telling her what she was doing wrong, letting her know that she was going to get banned if she didn't stop doing this. Why would I warn her if what you're saying is so true? Why wouldn't I egg her on? I mean, you know that nobody in this community had to do any of the dubious things you're saying to have Molly taken down. She took herself down.
I don't like her. That's why. Like,
you notice too how does she know that she sounds like and obviously is sounding like a pathological liar here. Like you can tell by the tone of her voice, she doesn't even believe what she's saying.
Hi, I'm Alex Jones, and I do not support Menace to Sobriety because that motherfucker doesn't support me. But if you want to support him, you can. Over at PayPal, where your paychecks go to die.
Man, he's so good with this voice stuff. Menace is so good with the voice. Not only should you be hooking Menace up with a PayPal dono for doing such a great video, you should consider supporting me too. So I'll drop my links down there while we play this, if you want.
So let's put this mass flagging narrative to bed, shall we?
Yep.
First off, what is the importance of this narrative? Well, as we all know, the lion's share of Molly's social media income comes from Patreon and memberships.
And I will be shocked if her Patreon isn't gone within a week. Has nothing to do with anybody reporting it. It'll be when they find out what she did to that woman, when they see the video clip, when they realize that she has been banned from YouTube for hate speech, and then that last thing, she's done on Patreon. It's a fact. It's just how Patreon works. You cannot use Patreon to fund your YouTube channel and do what Molly did and still keep your Patreon. So anyway, they'll probably say that we, I don't know, bribed the Patreon staff to take down Molly's Patreon or something when her Patreon goes down.
Since she no longer has memberships, she's...
How do they reconcile the fact that her Airbnb also went down at the same time? How do they reconcile that? You can't mass report on Airbnb. They don't even have a system for mass reporting. What you send Airbnb goes to the moderation team at Airbnb, and then they have a human being look at it like when you report on Twitter. Thus why you can't mass report on Twitter or Airbnb. You feel me? You can't mass report YouTube on Twitter. Booty says, isn't funny, BHB, Molly, etc. all yell and call their subs losers and blame the channels with facts for their own fault. Oh, and it's predictable. And it's a good point, Booty. It's an excellent point. And Amberly says she is saying that it's not her Airbnb, haha. Oh, I know. She'll say anything. But it was, remember, right before it was. And Amberly, I hope everything's still going okay. You know what I'm talking about, right? With your dad. Hope everything's going okay, all right?
She's gonna need those people to merge over into the Patreon lane, and at $50 a crack,
it's a bad.
She needs to take my advice. She never takes my advice. Molly, I would start moving your patrons to Subscribe Star immediately. I'm giving you good advice. What you did, they will find out. Patreon will find out without anybody sending a report in, because again, your YouTube is the prime thing that your Patreon supports, and that's the prime thing you use to advertise it. So you doing those violations is going to cause your Patreon to go down. You should start moving them off if you want to keep those people. You should be taking my advice again, because I hate her so much. I always give her advice, you know.
Bad lane to be in.
It's a bad lane to be in when you run over a dog or a skunk, cause they stink when you hit them.
without having...
Have a wonderful Easter with your family. Booty, thank you. I actually celebrated Easter last weekend, and it's why I didn't stream on one of the days last weekend. But I will have a little bit of time to stream tomorrow in the evening because I still have to do some things. I just got the major stuff out of the way last weekend. So I will be here tomorrow evening for anyone that's around after I go to church and see some of the family and eat and stuff. I'll be live for a little bit because I'm gonna try to check in on you guys and see how you're doing on Easter. So if any of you are around or if you just don't have anything to do on Easter, put it on your calendar to come hang here and we'll entertain each other. You know what I'm saying?
Having the ability to stream and collect super chats, she's probably also hoping that many viewers who would normally...
Why do we have to watch her lifelong breakdown? Can she fuck off now? She needs it. Her family needs it. Oh, definitely. If you read the title, we're debunking Molly, Betty, and her potato head crew and Dolly because they're lying about us. So yeah, when they stop lying about all of us and when they start just doing their normal content or take a break, whatever they do, yeah, they won't be brought up. They're being brought up today, though, so that we can prove to everybody with hard evidence that they're lying on us, the entire group of creators that are out there, from Burnt Toast all the way over to me and all the way over to smaller creators, right? So it's very important that if they're going to lie on us if they're going to employ the potato heads to try to convince whoever's left that they can brainwash into believing that we've all done this, that we should defend ourselves and show, because this is the perfect opportunity now for the majority of people that followed Molly to finally get to see that we have been telling them the truth this whole time and that they have been actively lying about us this whole time.
Super chat on a regular basis.
But no, I agree. In fact, when Molly went to the funeral and when Molly first got banned, I didn't plan on bringing her up. I didn't plan on covering anything more about her without some, very important update. Unfortunately, she just won't let it rest. Now, let's pretend that after this happens, this stream, she doesn't have anything else, any other lies, any other campaigns, any other, little tricks up her sleeve. You probably won't hear about her for a while because we have an entire 3 streams to catch up on when it comes to a bunch of other people that are on the platform that, I'll give you one of them, Betty. Oh, and JLR, of course.
Will decide to spend their money by merging into the Patreon lane as well. And, well...
It's a bad lane to be in.
My whole family's country. I'm allowed
without having the ability to stream and keep the masses hyped up about her brand, it'll be a lot harder to encourage folks to donate through CASHAPP.
Exactly, Menace. Exactly. And that's why she has to tell these lies. With her audience realizing that Molly used the fact to justify her behavior, the doxing, the harassment, putting people's homes as thumbnails, all the things that I could name that she's done, the fraud raisers. She said that the reason why we were all lying on her is because she hasn't been banned. If she'd really done any of those things, shouldn't she be banned? So this is why she has to go into triple lie mode, because she's got to try to convince them now that there's some other reason for her to be banned other than her breaking the rules and YouTube finally realizing what she's doing.
The problem she's up against now is that she really needs people merging into that $50 Patreon lane, and
it's a bad lane to be in.
Now, given the fact that she was deplatformed for community guidelines violations, she's inadvertently left her viewers with no choice but to ask themselves if it's really worth it to drop $50 a month on a Patreon subscription.
No, because they're just going to get their money refunded before she has a chance to remove it. They probably shouldn't waste their time and their money.
When there's no content other than some drama and tea posts.
Well, of course, Molly is using her Patreon to try and drive the high tier donators to the potato head streams where they are blatantly, actively lying about all of us, thus, fulfilling her way of being able to keep brainwashing and lying to them and getting them to believe that she did nothing wrong.
I'm sure many are upset with her vile, incessant, and
I swear I'm going to turn that into a song. It's going to blow up.
Reckless community guidelines violations, and may be ready to throw in the
Yeah, $50 a month is horrible because those people aren't realizing that they're paying $600 a year. Now, there are people out there who can afford to support a creator like that. There are. But the thing is, we shouldn't be influencing them on that we should be giving them the option. You know, it shouldn't cost you $600 a month to be a member of her Patreon. They should be able to join for a cheaper rate. And what she's doing by locking the gate that high is by saying, I know I have people out there that are willing, that really desire to be in my group. And I need to get the most money out of them as possible. So I'm going to take away the $25 tier and get the 50 out of all of them to make up for the fact that I'm losing money from memberships and I'm losing money from these other things that are happening. Also, when people invest, because they're being instigated by, it's not a choice they're making. They're not saying, damn, I really like Menace. All of his stuff is free. I don't have to give him a dime, but I really like him. I'm going to give him $1,000 a year, right? I'm going to give him, like, what would it be, 80 a month or whatever it would be, right? And because he's that good, 90 a month. That's not happening with Molly because they have to fork out $600 a year just to be a base community member of Molly's.
Towel completely.
Hey, Ambiguous Darkness, I checked out some of your stuff recently. Good stuff. I really did like it. Mods, you're more than welcome to drop Ambiguous's link in a few times.
Would leave Molly in a rough predicament. So what's the answer here? Well, it appears as though the plan is to keep the supporters corralled up like cattle in a pen by painting Molly out to be the victim. That's right. If Molly is the victim, then her supporters will throw some quick sympathy cash apps at her and merge on over to Patreon.
That is so true. Molly is the victim. Thus, the entire mass reported off the platform narrative. Make it seem like they know the majority of the people that watched Molly don't know that she did these things to this woman and showed her license on stream. They don't know this. They would only know it if they watched criticizers or if they watched that stream when it happened and was paying really close attention to the screen when it happened. And a lot of people will be driving and playing and just listening, or they'll be washing dishes, they'll be doing their crafts, they'll be doing laundry, they'll be all the normal stuff that all of us do while we got a podcast or a YouTube video going, especially a long form live stream, right?
Because if for not,
why did Molly get kicked off of YouTube? She got a combination of strikes. She got hate speech. She got a few hate speech and harassment for doxing and hate speech. And then the thing that just got her off immediately, she took a picture of her tenant's driver's license because her audience had convinced her that House of Williams had sent that woman to her Airbnb to spy on Molly. And they kept making Molly paranoid over that woman until Molly turned on that woman and made her think she needed a picture of her driver's license. And once Molly had it and she started to get mad at the woman the next day, she showed it on her stream in front of everybody so that her audience could figure out who the woman was and go and intimidate and harass and do all the things they do to the woman. And if you weren't here for the beginning of this stream, if you want to know exactly what Molly has her audience do to people that she gets mad at, this entire video called The Real Mass Reporters from Chronicles of the Shady goes into all of that. It shows direct examples of what they do when Molly or when Betty or when the others sick the audience on someone they're angry at.
Nothing else. They feel bad for her and don't want the poor victim to suffer financial hardships. In order to...
It's Darvo. She does... The factual thing that happened is that Molly victimized her tenant, her Airbnb tenant. She doxed and harassed, victimized. And now before that, she had done the hate speech and doxing and harassment of House of Williams. She showed House of Williams' home, her address, and said all that disgusting stuff about House of Williams in an attempt to turn her audience on House of Williams. And all those things were parts of the strikes that took her down. But yeah.
To do this and secure Molly's financial stability.
So that is how you make Molly, when she is the victimizer, doing those things, you flip-flop her to be the victim, and their argument is very weak. It hasn't worked even to the slightest bit. Molly's own subscribers don't even buy the whole Molly was mass reported off the platform BS.
The route they've chosen was not that she had a bad fall and suffered a head injury with damage to her frontal lobe, resulting in abnormal moral behavior.
Which I think might even, something has to explain the fact that she does this stuff.
Nope. It wasn't that she's been under a lot of stress the past few months and flew off the handle because she's just been riding an emotional roller coaster and made some bad judgment calls. Nope. Instead, they blame nonsense, the big bad beehive, those pesky UNIRockers, and literally the entirety of the true crime community.
I don't want to forget, so I'm going to bring up my notepad, because what I want to do, other than go into a little bit of fair use stuff with you guys, I also want to talk to you about exactly what he just said, so I'm going to make a note.
And accused hundreds, if not thousands of people of mass flagging Molly. That is, filing frivolous reports on a large-scale level against her channel. The reason for this? Well, they're basically saying that if you file enough reports on someone, they'll automatically get a strike and eventually terminated.
Now, this is very, very important, what you're about to see. This is so damaging that the potato heads had to skip over this and try everything in their power to stop their audience from seeing this when it came up in one of their streams, because they knew they were lying, they knew they were defaming, they knew they were wrong, and that's why they knew they had to skip Menace's video, this video. This is the reason they skipped it, what he's about to show you.
This, however, is a lie. They're trying to make Molly the victim.
Gucci said she's on another channel. I'm going to show you the actual terms of service right in a minute. I'll put it in my notes so I don't forget. I will show you the terms of service that says Molly can't be on YouTube at all, even on other channels. I will pull it up and show it to you right after this.
And put the blame for her channel going down on us.
She cannot, and I'll show you the proof right after this.
You and I. In order to keep Molly's supporters sympathizing with her and stick.
Now that's a scam. The fact that they are doing everything in their power to keep the high tier audience members from knowing the truth so that they'll keep giving money and consider Molly the victim is a scam. The potato heads and the people helping Molly are participating in ripping the people off with this scam. That's what they're doing. They're being deceptive and they're lying so that Molly will keep being able to take money from people that would choose not to if they knew what really happened.
Picking around, throwing money her way. So is what they claim we did even possible? Of course not. They're just lying.
It's the best cure for insomnia, Booty. Best cure for insomnia.
As is common with these people. They lie to and mislead their audience in order to keep that money flowing. So let's find out for sure. Here's an article with SearchEngineJournal.com. And it's an interview with YouTube creator liaison Matt Colville. YouTube says videos won't get removed for too many flags. YouTube says videos will not automatically get removed for being flagged too many times.
So why is it so many people will bring up mass reporting? Because it used to work. The algorithm used to consider a channel based on their sub size and their view size. If you got an obnoxious amount of reports, it could get your video taken down automatically. YouTube claims as of over a year ago, they have fixed this. And before anyone is taken down, as I said in my last stream, just making sure I get it all in a watchable stream. My last stream wasn't that watchable. I admit that. I admitted it from the beginning. YouTube has said they've fixed this, and now anyone who's flagged will be reviewed by a human instead of having the algorithm act under certain conditions. This being true completely debunks and exposes the lies of the potato heads Molly and those others involved in trying to scam those left in Molly's audience. Now, I do want you to know that you can still have a false report. You still can. The human can look at your content and make an error or have a bad day and not do the right thing. And thus why we can appeal and we can make our argument to how we didn't break TOS and get strikes reversed in some situations. Feel me? Okay.
YouTube does not automatically remove videos or penalize channels for
like it used to
receiving a certain number of flags. All content goes through the same review process. So what they're saying is there isn't like an automatic system that will remove Molly's video after 1,000 flags or reports. YouTube creator liaison.
I mean, I was punch drunk silly in my last stream. I ain't gonna lie.
Matt Koval spoke with the company's trust and safety team to get the facts on what happens to videos that are repeatedly flagged. Flagging refers to reporting a video for violating YouTube's community guidelines. When people watch videos on YouTube, one of the things they can do is flag it by clicking on the 3-dot menu icon and clicking report. Now, interestingly enough, the majority of the reports on Molly's were done through Twitter. So Heels in the Air tweeted at Team YouTube with the clip that was problematic, and people were just retweeting that.
That is not mass reporting. Again, YouTube, where it used to have the ability for the algorithm to act in certain scenarios to take a video down inappropriately, thus why people mass reported, doesn't happen on Twitter. Twitter is not connected to YouTube. There is no Autobot that if you flag so many times on Twitter, it'll automatically take down a video on YouTube. This is why I didn't instruct you to file reports on Molly's channel. I instructed you to go to Team YouTube and retweet and leave a quote tweet with @Team YouTube underneath it to get the attention of a real human, thus making sure we were respecting Molly. We were making sure Molly would not be false reported or mass reported, making sure she would be reviewed by a human team.
To get Team YouTube's attention. So they didn't even use the reporting feature on YouTube itself. Flags don't impact the outcome of a video's policy assessment. If a video gets 1 flag or 1,000 flags, it still goes through the same review process. It's possible that a video with thousands of flags will be scrutinized more than a video with fewer flags, but it will nevertheless get assessed by YouTube's content review team. There's no system in place on YouTube that will cause a video to get taken down for being reported X number of times.
Exactly. I'm going to skip ahead a little because I want you to go actually watch Menace's video. He basically just goes through more of this to go into detail so that everybody out there understands it. Even potato heads, if they watch Menace's video, won't be able to lie to their audience and tell them that their lie of mass reporting happened, okay? Now, they still will, and that's why they skipped Menace's video when it came up on their stream, but that's because they're dishonest. They are defaming and lying and doing this on purpose.
Just because she needs to be the victim in order to keep that cheddar flowing. So what did Molly have to say about her takedown? Because remember, she got an email from YouTube that would have explained everything to her. Exactly why it was taken down, if it was temporary, if it was permanent. So she knows. Hi everyone. Don't believe anything unless it comes directly from me.
This is different than how it used to be. Molly, when one of her hardcore followers would feel weird about Molly telling them not to look at evidence, not to look at facts, like any other normal person would, you go check the facts and you're going to know I'm innocent. She didn't say that. Sometimes it would give a red flag to the high tier donator on her Patreon. Though Molly had their phone numbers. They had Molly's phone number. Molly could call them and assure them through direct manipulation that of reasons why they have to listen to her, reasons why they shouldn't look at the evidence or look at the clips of what actually happened. And yes, I know it sounds crazy, but a lot of the people that follow Molly, because she has created a fake, close relationship with these people for the sole purpose of manipulation, do successfully get manipulated by her.
Molly go mukbang. Yes, it is true. Both channels came down.
Booty says, can you imagine Molly's flag by the public has to be millions? YouTube team reviewed the videos and determined it. Yeah. And imagine what I just played a video of Molly telling all of us that she mass reported and false reported videos. Dolly, Molly, Betty, all of them mass report and false report. And that's why they're trying to lie to their audience and lie to YouTube now, because they don't respect the people that give them money. They're just there to be used. They won't tell them the truth. They won't treat them like adults or with any respect. They want their money so bad, they're going to lie straight to them so that they can keep getting money from them.
It was from mass reporting. Now
It's
remember,
a complete lie. Complete lie.
Don't believe anything unless it comes directly from her, right?
Yeah. Don't believe anything unless it comes from me, Molly. My channels went down from mass reporting. This proves to you that the reason Laura and the potato heads are lying is because Molly told them to. Molly says the same thing to the potato heads and Laura. Don't believe anything but me. It was mass reporting. She has to say that because if they know that Molly was taken down appropriately for showing a license, for doxing, for hate speech, and many other things, they aren't going to go live for Molly on their channels. But the difference between the potato heads, Laura, and their audience members and their donators is that they're doing it while they know Molly's lying. The audience members are being manipulated. Molly doesn't get payments from those people. Molly gives them a benefit. That's why they lie. They lie for a payment. They lie for a benefit from Molly.
But as we just found out with that article we read, it's impossible that her channel went down due to mass reporting.
Possible.
All right, so now that we've solved that mystery.
I do have to say this before I let you continue, Menace. I have never, ever seen a community that was willing to make themselves look as dumb as the potato heads, Laura, and Molly. Because when someone goes on their channel, does blatant things like this to get removed, they typically won't go around telling this obvious of a lie right after because they have some form of dignity. Even if it's a bit of them trying to maintain the appearance of dignity to the people they lie to, they don't do such obvious lies because they don't want to lose their grip over the people they lie to. And for you to see these people lie this obviously, how simple it was for them to be debunked, how easy it is to show that you can't argue what you're arguing if Molly showed that license, if Molly did do the hate speech, and if she did do the other violations, then you can't make these arguments. It doesn't work. It's the opposite of what you're saying it is if Molly did it to herself. This makes them look really bad.
I've got one small question left weighing in the back of my mind here. We know that they're lying about the mass flagging being the reason her channel went down in order to secure the sympathy donos. But what I want to know is, do her friends truly believe she was wrongly convicted here?
No, they don't. They're actively, deceptively lying. And you can tell by their body language And you can tell when their little plot to watch Nonsense's content backfired and Nonsense pulled up your video, Menace. When your video came up and they panicked and skipped it, they proved that they had known they can't show this to their audience. It showed the intent.
Because every once in a while, I get the feeling when I hear these people talk that maybe they truly believe that Molly shouldn't have been struck, that she shouldn't have been taken down, that her content's not that bad.
And that would work if they weren't Caters that have argued for Katie to be banned when Katie hasn't even done things as obvious as Molly. Katie will do things like Molly, but she'll do them more in the background to protect herself. She'll deny it better than Molly does. She'll actually do it in a smart way to keep herself protected. Molly does it right out in the open in front of everybody in full recording, and then she tries to delete it really quick. So, you know, the fact that they are trying to actually use mass reporting and actually break the rules to take down one of their enemies, but at the same time saying that Molly was mass reported, it's just, you know, it just shows that.
So we asked Veda Potato earlier.
Yes, Dolly did admit that Molly did this to herself. Absolutely. Which goes against the rest of their narratives.
Tell us how you feel, Veda. Put in a good word for old Molly Go Mukbang.
This is so good. Oh man, look, there's the potato head arm. There's the potato head eyes and the ear and the nose, or is that the tongue? And then there's the other arm. Mashed potato head.
Think about this. Molly has been on YouTube, what, 4 years, and she's had all these fucking hating ass women after her ass. Yes, Molly has shitty behavior. Yes, she doxes people.
You just said that she doxes. Have you not looked at the YouTube terms of service? You're admitting she should have been banned. You're admitting it's not mass reporting.
Well, yes, she lies, but so the fuck do you? Yeah.
No, we don't. No, you'll say that. It's the only way you can justify what you do. But listen, regardless if one of Molly's enemies actually does dox and lie and defame and hate speech, that person needs to be banned for that. Doesn't mean Molly gets to go do it. Right? Just because you're saying, well, these women that go after Molly, they lie and they hate speech and they dox. So that means that Molly can then do that too and not be banned? Are you kidding? You know, you really are horrible at this. Every time you've tried to defend her, you've dug her hole deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. You'd think at some point you'd stop doing this much damage to her. Because if it wasn't for you guys, and it wasn't for the people that donate to Molly and egg her on, I don't think she would have got banned. I think she would have done a lot of that stuff in the background if it wasn't for you guys egging her on in the foreground.
Yes, Molly has shitty behavior. Yes, she doxes people. Yes, she lies. Yes, she doxes people. Yes, she doxes people. Yes, she lies. Yes, she doxes people. Yes, she doxes.
It's the most idiotic logic I have ever heard. It's one of the dumbest things that could have come out of her mouth. It completely goes against and debunks everything that she said earlier in the video. This is embarrassing for this poor woman. Because she's really trying to be a YouTuber. She's trying to get people to believe her, and she's trying to get people to trust her, but nobody can hear her talk without hearing her contradictions. I mean, for God's sakes, she's the one that went on the air and told everybody that Molly logs in to Marvon's pay accounts and just completely exposed Molly for being a part of the Marvon fraud raiser. You just can't make this stuff up. You'd think Molly would have wrangled her neck after she did that the first time. But Molly didn't. And then she exposed her like 7 more times. And now you're exposing that Molly's orders to you guys to convince everybody that she was mass reported by us now is a lie that even you know. So when Molly wants you to lie, you'll do it. What does that say about you? Because all the things you try to lie and say about all of us are actually what you are. And I have videos to prove it.
Doxes people.
Unlike you.
Well, yes, she lies.
Hey, Vader, you're fired.
Bam! Get her. She has to be fired. Molly, I told you to fire her a long time ago. Don't let her defend you. She is really messing up your game. Oh my God, isn't this gorgeous? The community debunked the fact that Molly was taken down by mass flagging. We did it. The community, we debunked it. She was not taken down by mass flagging. But guess who else confirmed that she's a doxer and a liar? And doxing on YouTube is a bannable offense. Therefore, she also has confirmed that Molly was not taken down by mass flagging. And she's not even smart enough to realize it. She's not even smart enough to realize that she said both of those things at the same time. That's kind of sad. She's got to at least be 36. Fine, 34. 34. She's got to at least be 34. Molly had bang bang time with Nick Carter before he was 18. I've heard this claim before. I've heard this before. Did she brag about it? Did she brag about doing that? You know? I think the real question is, WWPD, what would potato heads do? You guys have to do me the biggest solid. Menace put a lot of time and effort editing video, audio creation into this video. Please subscribe to his channel because he will keep putting out these bangers. So she admitted to being a pred, is what you're telling me? She bragged about Carter and AJ both, but Carter, she admitted he was under 18. Because I know Molly is at least double his age. That is disgusting. That is red. That is get a hold of Chris Hansen. I'm dead serious. Chris Hansen would take that up. Chris Hansen would love to talk about that. She told lots of stories. Oh, I hope we have archives. Oh, I hope we have archives. She excused herself by saying back then that they didn't have smartphones, so Google Info, so why would she card him? Oh my God. Chris Hansen would have a field day with MGL. We have to get these clips, guys. We're going to keep moving. We've got more stuff to show you. I'm going to try to make this stream a little more concise and to the point, because my last stream, I don't know if some of the people that came in didn't hear my several I made several several announcements that I was very tired. I was very sick, very tired, and I'd been at the doctor the entire day from very early up until I just got home to do the stream, okay? So I thought, you know, hey, people that don't want to hear me be silly and make jokes and talk to my chat constantly, those people aren't going to watch because obviously, you know, they can skip a stream of mine if I'm, you know, doing something if I'm not really doing a show that day and I'm more just coming online because I wanted to show something today, but didn't have the ability to write the show and get it together, which is what happened a couple days ago. But in the interest of being a very non-dramatic creator here, I won't go into detail about some things that have happened. Some things that other creators in the community have said to me lately, which if I did go into it, it would just be too easy to respond to it. And that's the thing. I think they were just angry. I've said this for a while. One thing that'll happen when there are people out there that have been debunking Molly for years, and all of a sudden she's off the platform, it does make people uneasy. It makes them, it's a new thing. It's new territory. They get nervous. How do I know that? Because I myself was in their position long ago. I was covering a trend, doing pretty good in the trend, and the trend ended. I'm the type of person, though, I charge forward every time. I never plan on staying on a story forever. Sometimes they drag out. Most of the time they don't. And I like to move on to the next story. But I know that there are people out there that's a scary thing. So I'm going to just try to be nice to everybody in the community, give everybody a chance. But what I will do in response to some of the things that people have said to me is break down a little bit of fair use. Now, I'm doing this mostly because Molly and Betty and Dolly talk about mass reporting, they talk about copyright strikes, and they talk about filing them on other people, and therefore we do need to have like a 2-minute thing on fair use. But more than that, because some people, Perplexed was calling you unicock and stuff and saying that you were obsessed with watching her on Kick. Watching who? I've never watched her on YouTube or Kick. Like, I think I played maybe a couple minutes of that stream because Molly was in it. I didn't even play Laura talking. Laura has a crush on me. Okay, I'm not dumb. I may have been out of the dating game for a long time because I've been with my girlfriend for many years. But I still can pick up on those little tells. Because did you see where she was covering a murmur trial of a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old or 11-year-old, and she decided to do a poll about me, Tim, and the Glarers' private parts, and it was on the screen while she is talking about this boy and what happened to him. And it was one of the most disrespectful, most disgusting performances from someone in a long time, and that I've seen in the tragedy Pimpin' space. Not totally, but when it comes to them mixing drama into their coverage of a true crime case, I really think that the reason why Laura and Molly get along is because they both have that really disgusting kind of sick, pervy side to them. And it's why you got Molly banging Nick Carter when he's under the age of 18 for some pred reason. And then you got Laura constantly trying to talk about all of our private parts. She's developing these weird delusions that we're watching her streams all the time, even though she's barely ever come up on my show. It's really weird. Very, very, yeah, she has no class. I don't know. Some people I think are too dumb to understand what it means when you have no class. Because you don't get to sit up there and act like you're some respectable person or some rich and famous person, or I'm some, I'm a good person that gets to judge others when you're that much of a degenerate. I'm going to clickbait people in to the stream using this boy who has lost his life and his trial. And then I'm going to try to get more views and get more people in there to watch and stay there by bringing up people who I don't like on YouTube and their private parts. This is her problem. This is something she definitely needs to get therapy for. This is not normal. And I don't know why her and Justin and Molly all have this thing that when they're talking about instances where people lose their lives, they go into sexual things. But I'm telling you, it multiplies the cringe to very cringy levels. Yeah, and Butthurt Betty is next to be looked at by YouTube. And when Betty cries and says, "Oh, well, you guys just leave me alone so that you can keep covering me." Really? Well, we're not supposed to care about the children that you constantly dox.
Guys, I need you guys all over his page. I need you guys to go ahead and just start slamming him, reporting him, doing whatever you guys do best. It's time to take his page.
See, I have these clips of Molly and Dolly and Betty doing this all the time. I wonder why the potato heads aren't mad at them for literally mass reporting people. Now, these clips happened back when mass reporting was still a thing on the platform over a year ago. They have mass reported people. They have falsely gotten people banned. And I have these video clips. I'm not going to play them all again. They're at the beginning of the stream. And you can see me go through it way too long a couple streams ago. Well, last stream. The main thing here, though, is that you don't get to cry about people having Team YouTube legitimately look at what you're doing when you're doing this to kids and other people. So let's go and see what we can find this thing with here, right here. You know, Betty, you have to be looked at by Team YouTube because you have guaranteed that you're going to stalk kids using the YouTube platform. Don't believe me? Take a listen.
Like I said, I don't need to ask anybody anything about them. If I want to know something about you, I will know everything there is to need to know about you.
We know. We know you're obsessed with us. We know that you stalk us. We know that you think about us 24/17. We know that you want to be us. We know that you want to have what we have. Trust us. We know.
Literally everything. I'll know where your children go to school. I'll know where your parents live. I'll know whether your grandparents are dead or alive. I'll know where your sister lives. I'll know where your aunt and uncles are from. I'll know where you're born from.
You could find that out without having to go and dig. Save yourself a lot of time and just listen to a couple of my streams when it comes to me.
I don't need to ask people about their past because I will have it in print in front of my face.
See, why does she think like this? Because she can't imagine that there could be other YouTubers on this platform that don't have records like her. It just blows her mind that there are people out there who don't have records. It baffles her. It's foreign. It's a foreign thought to her. Oh, this is one of the creepiest clips you'll ever see because she's dead serious. And she does have a very extensive alcohol problem and a very serious princess problem. So, you know, I don't know if she gets honest like Molly does when she gets a little too honest when she's, you know, not thinking straight or what it is with Betty. But Betty is just one of the most dangerous people. Betty said that her and JLR are checking your background. They're more than welcome to be bored just like Walter and Molly were.
So, again, I suggest you do.
Well, and much endeavors, I'm really glad you let me know that because I'm really not that motivated to have Team YouTube look at Betty's channel unless she starts doing this again. I try really hard to give people a chance to stop. I'm thinking to myself, with Molly going down, maybe Betty and JLR will take that as we need to stop doxing. We need to stop violating other people's privacy, violating other people's space, stop cyber stalking and stalking people. Thank you so much for letting me know that they're not doing that and that they're actually still doxing and cyber stalking, because that will help put a fire under my ass to make sure that Team YouTube gets on her channel as quickly as humanly possible.
Do your due diligence on me before you start running your trap. Just saying. Just saying.
Oh, we did. We definitely did. We did. Now, I know this isn't about me because this is like an older video, but we did.
Everybody, all these people were all there.
So that's Betty saying that she's going to stalk children because she's so triggered over criticism on YouTube. This is Betty saying, Team YouTube, will you please check all of the doxing that I do and see if it's in terms of service, please? And because she advertises JLR so hard, JLR's not going to be hard though, because he's ban evading. JLR's not supposed to have a platform on this platform. He was kicked off of this platform a long time ago because he, if you want to look, you can go to Google, type in him with the word Sandy Hook after it, Jonathan Lee Rich's Sandy Hook. And I've shown this several times because he was worshiping people that took the lives of children, mass children, people, life enders. And because of his extreme manipulation and exploitation of this loss of child life, he had already lost a channel. So JLR's just like this. I'm thinking Betty might have a few days. Thinking she might have a few. Oh, yeah. Jonathan Lee Rich's Sandy Hook is what you got to search in Google. I say that you skim the first 5 articles. These are all mainstream media articles on JLR. JLR does not want anyone knowing this about him. Which is ironic because he would have gotten the respect that people wouldn't have talked about the mistakes he made in the past if he wasn't doing what Molly and Betty are doing, and Dolly. Don't forget Dolly. Don't think we're going to forget Dolly. You know, we would have forgotten any of these 3 people if they would stop this. Too late. You didn't stop it. After it happened to Molly, I'm not unplugged, okay? I get a lot of messages from people. I still communicate with a lot of other creators, and I know when these people threaten me. I get the clips almost immediately, and I'm going to tell you now, Team YouTube has to look at Betty, JLR, and Dolly's channels. Has to happen. Has to happen. And again, I will give them, they don't need it, but I'll give them full permission to look at every single one of my channels and look at every piece of content ever posted to any of my channels. I encourage that, Team YouTube, to do that, as long as they're going to do the same for these people, right?
I'll know where.
Okay, so I've got more. We've got a room full of updates from Patreon, from the public stoning of Molly. The hypocrisy is real, and the backlash is going to sting. I don't know what that is. We've got that. JLR Investigates is so creepy. Live in Moscow, Idaho, Brian Koberger. The Nick Carter story came from National Enquirer. Are you freaking kidding me, Menace? We've got a few posts from Molly here. We've got a clip from Menace I'm going to play for you here. And have you guys seen this? Thank you, new patrons. I don't believe that she has new patrons. I don't believe it at all. You could very much easily tell by looking at the responses to her Patreon posts. See, when you thank new Patreons, typically those new Patreons will respond to the post thanking them for joining. Every time Molly thanks new patrons, the same old people might say 1 or 2 things, but that's it. Very strange, isn't it? Also, if she wants to brag about having new people on her Patreon, why wouldn't she make the number of people on her Patreon public? She could click a button and make it public so that you knew exactly how much money she gets and how many patrons that she has. But before I move on, I got 2 things I want to ask of my peeps. Of course, the first thing is paypal.me/UNIRock if you want to support us. You don't have to, but it's the weekend. And, oh, hold on. Gone girl, thank you very much. Appreciate you. It's the weekend, and Easter's tomorrow for most people. It's for me too, but I got a lot of I saw a lot of family members already, so that tomorrow's not going to be too busy for me in the evening. It will be during the day. And money sign UNIRock on CASHAPP. But I also have one other thing that I would hope you would check out for me. And again, when you check this out, I'm not asking you to buy this book. I'm just asking you to check this listing on Amazon. It's a book, And if you're into this kind of story, just consider looking at the description, seeing if you might like it. That's all I ask. And the link to that book is in the description, and I just posted it in the live chat. I'll do it again. I didn't get a stream yesterday, so the coffee fund is running low, y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and share that paypal.me/UNIROCK and #UNIROCK. We just got this breaking news. We've got the National Enquirer article that has something to do with Molly Golightly and Aaron Carter. Okay. Yeah, our top. I just found that. I just got her. So we're going to take a look at this. This is really predatory if this is true, y'all. Really predatory. And we've got Molly on the way to the supermarket to fetch food for Easter. I'm going to have Princess and Gina over. You do us a favor. Will you please not stream it on Kick? Because we don't want any Princess Powder episodes again. I can't handle another cringe party. How about you just not stream your Easter party? You know, it'll make y'all more happy. Let me go ahead and just read to you some of the posts from Molly's Patreon that involve things that, in my opinion, she shouldn't be posting because they aren't true, or they're deceptive, or they're just manipulations of the people on her Patreon that give her money. Let me read this to you. Princess and Gina are here. I'm getting it together. I'm taking Princess to the doc appointment. Me and Gina are going to go over to the supermarket. I have tickets tomorrow for a concert. I'm not up for anything right now, but I need to get away alone. I'll see. I'll be taking one-on-one calls Monday for everyone. Inbox me your address if y'all want your signed photo. XO, thank you. You're appreciated. So why did I read this to you? Because Molly has been trying to hit up the surviving members of her community to fund her a vacation so that she can kind of get away by herself and have some time to treat herself with money that was begged from the people that she's lied to keep them on her Patreon after telling them lies about what she got banned for and lying about the criticizers of her in the process. And now she's combined with the lies. It's another evolution of what I brought up earlier when I was talking about her scamming her audience by trying to make them think that she wasn't appropriately banned from the platform. If Molly wasn't appropriately banned, she would appeal the ban. She can't appeal the ban because she was appropriately banned, and that's why she's not. But instead, she wants to milk them for as much money as she can now with this vacation. I also bring this up because I will refer you to what happened in a hotel room a few months back when Molly had gone out and partied and started to act very strange. She then managed to get to her room, a hotel room she was staying in by herself, and lost her mind for days, begging people to either give her money, and there had to be 10 people to do it. 10 people have to give her money, or she's going to shut off the live stream type thing. Are Molly and Walter divorced? I can only tell you what Molly herself has said. According to videos that I've been shown, I've seen them with my own eyes, Molly has said that her and Walter did divorce, and they do have a divorce agreement where she gets paid up until Jake turns 18. She said this. This is something she said. Does it mean she was telling the truth? Does it mean, I know, Booty. Oh, I know. Does it mean any of those other things? All I can go by is what she's saying and let you know that this came from her. So it may not be true. I do have more Patreon posts, though, that go along with this same thing before we move on to this article from the National Enquirer. Zach says, maybe an unpopular opinion, but if Molly admits to all the wrong she's done and changed her ways, I'd be willing to give her a second chance, but I doubt she would ever change. Zach, I agree. And I know it's an unpopular opinion. Now, here's the deal, though. It wouldn't just be She wouldn't just admit it and change it. Yeah, she admits it, changes her ways, and then shows us for a long period of time that she's never going to do any of this again. That's my goal in any of these communities I go into. I don't want to see somebody banned. I've said this nonstop since I started looking at this. I don't want to see these communities destroyed, but I also don't want to see innocent people rent a room and then have their privacy violated and broadcasted half nude in what they think is a room they've rented, because Molly wants to use them as content on her channel and then allow their audience to convince her to do these things. Showing her license, doxing these people. These are things Molly is really sick when her go-to behavior, when she questions something. She doesn't know for sure. She has no clue whether House of Williams sent someone to rent an Airbnb or not. She has no idea. And she'll allow her audience to just lie to her, and then she'll dox and violate this woman's rights and the laws against this woman. And she will victimize and abuse this woman because of her irresponsible way of handling her content. I won't even call it content. She's just winging it, going live and trying to appease her audience and do whatever they want done so she can make as much money out of them as possible. Moving on to the National Enquirer article, though. In case you couldn't read the article, it comes from National Enquirer. I do not agree or disagree with anything said in the article, nor do I endorse the article. Example, it might be true or it might be a total lie, but either way, I have no say. The title, I must have missed that, but I'm sure it went something like My Wild 3 Nights with the Backstreet Boys, okay? Oh, by the way, Zach, thank you. Thank you for the dono, and I want you guys to always give me your opinion, whether they're unpopular, whether they're popular, whether they agree or disagree with me. I really appreciate when you guys do hook me up, okay? Here we go. Are we still getting that damn yellow money sign, YouTube? Because it's been... I submitted this thing for review over an hour and 30 minutes ago. Yep. Still got it. Okay. One young fan made the fantasy a reality, and the memory still haunts her today. Marissa spent 3 delirious nights in New York City with the band's younger member Nick Carter, who was then only 17. She would eventually come to know the fellow songboy AJ McLean as well. Marissa, now 24, tells all in the interview the Enquirer. She wouldn't have been 24. Wouldn't have been 24. I don't think she's telling the truth about her age when this happened. Though, even if she did, it's not legal. It's still creepy. He shares details from the intimate diary of the torrid affair. It started in '97 when she went gaga over the Backstreet Boys and Nick. Little did I know that in a matter of weeks I'd be making love to him, she told the Enquirer. I don't believe her. Her opportunity arose when the boys performed at New York's Hammerstein Ballroom. I threw my bra at Nick's feet. She followed the band to the Millennial Hotel. Oh my God, I don't know if I even want to read this. Let's skip through. One young fan made the fantasy reality and the memory haunts her to today. If I acted like a major slut like that, I'd be kicking myself in my butt too. She spent 3 delirious nights in New York City with the band's youngest member, Nick Carter, who was 17. Isn't that statutory R? So not only is this girl a skank, but she's also a criminal. She would eventually come to know fellow songboy AJ as well. Oh well, now it's cookie time for her. Marissa tells all in the exclusive interview and shares details from the intimate diary of her torrid affair. You know what this inquiring mind wants to know? How much she got paid to tell her torrid affair. It started in '97 when she went okay, read that. She apparently arose with the boys performed, threw a bra at the feet. She followed the band van to the Millennium Hotel. To her surprise, Nick talked to her. Step number 2, hook her your way into Nick's hotel. He was staring me up and down, my legs, my skirt, making his way up my body with his eyes. It was a very sexy once over. Someone pours some cold water on this girl. These haunting memories are getting her excited again. But she wanted more. Figures, says the person. The next day, she returned with the BSB bodyguard named Freddie, set her up with Nick, and told her to bring a friend. Step number 3, sleep with the bodyguard named Freddie. He'll set you up with Nick. Marissa enlisted her pal Lisa, who waited in the lobby. Enlisted, huh? The army? Well, now isn't Lisa just lucky to have a friend like Marissa? I knocked on the door, went in. Nick was not wearing a shirt. He looked sexy. I sat down on the bed. He pulled me towards him for our kiss. We made love. Please excuse me, everyone. I think I might puke. Has vision of Nick without a shirt. Oh God, runs for the bathroom. Later, Marissa went to buy more condoms and bring back Lisa. When the two returned, Lisa and I made love to Nick. More condoms? How many penises does Nick have? The superstar kissed them goodnight, but secretly invited Marissa back the next night with a different girl. What was Marissa supposed to be again? A madam? Oh, she's much more than that. So I brought Anna, who is a virgin. Oh, good thinking, says the person reacting. Nick kissed me first, then Anna joined us. Nick whispered, Marissa, this is perfect, even better than last night. Playing Nintendo after the concert, my ass. That night, Nick told Marissa he was never going to forget her. I believed him. Obviously, Marissa's not on the smart side. Well, at least her and Nick have something in common. The band left town, but returned shortly, and Marissa saw him on October 28th. This time, he asked her to bring 2 friends. Ha ha ha. Now, you know this chick is lying because Nick can't count. I brought Anna and another friend, Marie. Nick objected to Anna. He wanted to try someone new. Said Marissa objected. Oh no, if I would have been Anna, there would have been fists flying. To change his mind, she fibbed that. Anna had just kissed me full on the mouth. That excited Nick. Now, kids, Anna is what we call a lesbian. They all made love. Nick then wanted to see me and Marissa kiss, so he did. It felt weird. Mary and I were friends, not lesbians. Yet, Marissa had no problems kissing Anna. What, did Marie have some kind of lip fungus? Later, AJ entered the room and acted surprised. But when I asked him to join us, he didn't hesitate. Marissa said of the dark and handsome singer, then 19. I have just a few questions. 1, didn't she have enough common sense to lock the door? Obviously not. 2, why when AJ came in, didn't she hide under the covers while Nick screamed, get the hell out? Number 3, when Nick just laid there, why didn't she know something was up? Well, besides that, 4, and probably the question I keep asking, why in the hell did she invite him to join? We can answer all these questions with just one word. Prostitute. After making love, AJ promised we'd go shopping the next day. It never happened. Nick told us to meet him and AJ around the corner at McDonald's. It never happened. The corner? I knew it. Listen, I'm not stupid. Oh yeah, you fooled me. I knew there would never be anything more. I thought it was okay with it, but somehow I really cared about Nick. You cared about him? You cared about him? You cared about him? Really? Like you had genuine love for him? I hated the smirky look they gave me. I felt used and discarded like an old shoe. You kind of are, though. I mean, you put yourself in that position. You were okay with it. You had to expect it. Including Marissa. If I could do it over again, I wouldn't. I felt that if what I did was what they wanted, they would like me. In the end, I felt humiliated and hurt. Well, I hope you learned your lesson and maybe decided that you wouldn't do things like that ever again, right? Well, how am I supposed to know after reading this in the National Enquirer news? Did she do it again? You tell me. She's talking like she never wanted to do it again. Do you believe she never did it again, or do you think she did things like this a lot? Let me know in the chat there with the vote. And while we look at that and get your vote, real quick so we can knock this off the table, Molly says, she's a sweetie, just wait what's in store, you have no idea. The public stoning of Molly Golightly. The hypocrisy is real, and the backlash is going to sting. An open letter to the haters. The public stoning of Molly Golightly. You know, how are you publicly stoned when you got banned for renting a room to a tenant and then pointing live streaming cameras at the woman in her rented home just in a t-shirt against her permission? Then when she got mad and you guys started to get not happy with each other, you held her license up and doxed her so that she would be harassed by your fans that were watching. That isn't a public stoning. Are you trying to compare yourself to like some religious figure that's been improperly stoned in the street? She was on Kick still talking about this lady. She didn't learn her lesson. That's why the lady needs to sue her ass. Because you know that Marissa is still attacking the poor woman, and the poor woman has no clue where it's all coming from. Marissa's the kind of person that will sit there and send people after you like that and then deny to everybody that she did it. Just a fact. Just a fact. Well, I'm either going to restart my stream or shut it down because I think we're still demonetized, and that's why we don't have a lot of the peeps in here. Let me check. Let me see if YouTube has fixed this yet before I make up my mind. Yeah. This video should not be. They just haven't looked at it yet. I don't know if it's because it's a weekend. I mean, we could stay online, I guess. The woman is supposedly pressing charges. I've heard that. Again, though, I just take everything as a claim until we have proof of it. Do I hope that the woman does? For her own safety, yes. This is not a YouTuber that she went and looked up details about on the internet claiming, this is a public figure, I can search these things. This is a woman, a normal civilian, but it's worse. This is a woman who Molly is her landlord. Imagine if your landlord did any of this to you in the place where you are living. It takes away all your comfortability in your home. It takes away all your safety. It takes away all of your ability to live a dramaless life. It's a violation of this woman's rights and privacy and so many other things. No, we've got really good numbers right now. It's just that I don't like it when I'm demonetized because it just limits my video's reach, right? On videos that aren't demonetized, it'll get 3 to 5 times the views. So it's just, if I'm covering something that should be demonetized, I don't usually care. But when we are demonetized, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. But anyway. So, what have we done so far in this stream? Let's go ahead and end this poll really quick. So 14% of you think that she never had a one-night stand where she tried to have girlfriends come in and sexually jump on these men only to be upset when the men didn't want to continue a relationship with her afterwards, right? I could give her advice, like maybe next time ask the celebrity man to go and spend time with you, go to a movie. Sure, you can have sex on the first night. You can have sex if you want. But the thing is, though, if you don't make them work for it, then they're going to think that you're doing this to anyone you bump into because you did it bumping into them. And they're not going to trust that if they call you back and form a relationship, they're not going to trust that you would respect it. They're not going to know because of your actions. Now, of course, it would be hypocritical for Nick to even try to have a relationship with you unless you were okay with him doing this with other women whenever he wanted, because you've started your relationship in its open way, is my point. Not saying you can't, it's just that you can't expect to lock him down if you're going to do it the most open way, right? That would be my advice, so. Well, Triple Crown, she says that he has a high-powered government job. I don't believe him. I don't believe any of it. I do have a clip. It's a throwback from the past that Menace wants me to play. He put it in a Molly room. I'm going to play it. You probably should hear it. It's very strange. Also, if you know where Bullhorn Betty and JLR are threatening to dox me, make sure you send it in to my mods, because I would love to add at least Betty to what I'm attempting to do with my lawyer involving LB, Molly, and Laura, which hopefully will just involve my lawyer pressing for criminal investigation into what they're doing. Maybe it'll be a little bit civil and criminal, but either way, if you have those clips, I do need them. Send them in if you know where they're at. Let's take a listen at what Menace found. Here we go.
Something. One thing that Jay said is she said that I swear, I almost died when he said that the girl from Little House on the Prairie, Nellie Olson.
Yeah. You didn't know that?
Nellie Olson was on my block list. So he must have been saying horrible. I have to tell
Nellie Olson, I think it's from Little House of the Prairie, I could be wrong, is on her block. Hey, Lauren. You doing okay? The puppy's all right. I don't get to talk to... I've been too busy to talk to you too much. I miss you guys. She's upset because someone from Little House on the Prairie was on her block list.
Tell you something. One thing that Jay said is she said that I swear, I almost died when he said that the girl from Little House on the Prairie,
The girl from Little House on the Prairie.
Nellie Olson.
Nellie Olson.
Yeah. You didn't know that?
Nellie Olson was on my block list.
She is bawling her eyes out. She's on my block list.
So he must have been saying horrible. I have to tell.
So he must have been saying horrible things to her. Now, I don't know if she's just crying so much that she's trying to say that she was blocked by her. Because if she had blocked Nelly, she could just unblock Nelly. Oni or Unique or Onique? Okay. Gotcha. Anyway, Menace has even more brilliant, devastating things here. He says, this is a pretty devastating blow for Potato Head and crew. Not because of the hypocrisy, but because it proves this entire shtick they've been running is a scam. They simply are trying to make Molly out to be the victim by calling it a mass flagging so that her supporters will stick around and migrate to her $50 Patreon out of sympathy for Molly, who was just maliciously flagged into oblivion. This ain't about standing up to mass flagging. Clearly, they're out here doing it themselves. Never seen a group so bloody incompetent in my life. Well, that's what makes it so interesting to laugh at them. They shoot themselves in the foot every time they try to take 2 steps. They make a big deal out of reporting that went down, leading Molly's supporters to believe she was wrongfully convicted, in a sense, due to heathens filing hundreds of bogus reports against her. This is to keep the followers supporting her financially out of sympathy. Yes, exactly. Veda doing the same thing, Potato doing the same thing, they're saying led to Molly's wrongful YouTube conviction. Lack of a better term, proves that the campaign of theirs is bogus. Molly was legitimately reported due to her hateful and harassing behavior, period, and he links to evidence. So Potato Heads are all phonies. I'm retweeting that. They're going to bat for MGL for various reasons. Some to absorb some subs, some because Molly was anti-Katie, and Katie's bad. Some because Molly was, I don't know if she still is, paying. The goal is the same though, make MGL's followers believe that she is innocent. It's a scam. It is meant for them to gain and for them to keep Molly financially gaining by being dishonest. It's a scam. We literally found out Molly sent her B&B guest info to an identity thief, a felon identity thief, while watching a live stream of her headed to the funeral. that she was 45 minutes late for. Elmo is a total failure. At this point, she's just lying on nonsense because she wants her audience enraged. She's trying to basically mimic Molly, yes. And again, the Instagram filter has taken parts of her face and blurred it into her potato head. So Kick is a new platform. Given the state of Twitch might even stand a change, I encourage everybody to at least make an account on Kick so you're ready if it starts to take off. Don't hate on it just because Molly's gone over there. The monetization is different than YouTube, and you have Kick become a corpse in 6 months and have to build YouTube again. Don't let their 95-5 revenue split drive you to irrational decisions. I have an account on Kick since it was first created. I have not used it yet. I may in the future, I may not, just depends on what happens. So PSA, it'd be good for everybody to brush up on their copyright claim and MCA takedown notice information. People are going to be striking clip channels like crazy and filing takedown notices so that when you dispute it, they get your real name. Takedown notices are legal notifications. Yes, so let's talk about that. It's very important to do so. Let me just make sure I give you a really quick thing. I can't find her Airbnb ad. I'd take one for the team. Oh, she's been taken off of Airbnb. Yeah, she's been removed. She's been taken down. So, well, CR, thank you. I was just about to share my link to PayPal, paypal.me/UNIRock, and $UNIRock for the coffee fund. You know, I switched to coffee from Red Bull. The only bad thing is I have to drink a lot of coffee to get the same effect as a Red Bull. So, no more Red Bull, just coffee. Bull. If you want to support me, that's how you do it. And I want to make sure I say that before we roll into this next little speech. You see, let's do a couple scenarios of fair use so that you understand what I'm trying to say. So the first thing is a copyright claim is saying that I'm taking you to court. That is why you have to sign your legal name there, and it's why you've got to give them your address. That's why you should get a lawyer to represent you if people try to copy claim you, because then they won't be able to get that. And instead, you can put your representative, your lawyer's information, thank you, CR, and on. That way, you never have to give them your name, your address, or anything. You put your lawyer's name there, and your lawyer represents you, and they don't get any of your info. Super easy win. Now, when you initially file the claim, you're saying, I'm taking you to court. It doesn't mean that either they can take the video down or do something else to try to not go to court, or that YouTube could come in and ban them or give them a strike so that you don't have to go to court. But that first copyright is a legally binding notice that you intend to take them to court. And you can't just file it and not plan to take it to court. You have to be willing to do that when you file the copyright. Moving on, the thing that dictates whether someone is violating copyright or not is called fair use. Point number one, something either is fair use or it's not fair use. You don't get to say, this person is abusing fair use so that they can commentate on me. If it's fair use, then it's fair use. They're not abusing fair use, it's fair use. In the same respect, when Molly said, I'm going to teach them a lesson by filing a strike on them because they're almost at 1,000 subs, that is her admitting she's misusing fair use, because fair use has nothing to do with that. So, if you file a copy claim on someone else, and YouTube determines you've frivolously done it, they can ban your channel or give you a strike, right? Or if you lie when someone files one against you, you can get a strike or you can get in trouble. So let's say you are a clip channel or you're a commentator and you don't commentate on movies, you don't commentate on music, you don't commentate on basket weaving, you commentate on Molly and tragedy pimps. So let's say you make a video. You got an intro that you made. You've got a clip of Molly talking about yada, then Betty's talking about yada, then you got some funny little meme, then you got an outro. So, what makes this fair use? The 5 tenets of fair use are applied to what you've done. Is it transformative? Is it educational? Is it a million other things? You have to look up the tenets of fair use on Google. If I go into that, I'll talk for 2 hours. So this let's say that people look at this and they realize it is transformative. It is all these things, yada, yada, yada. So they come out and say this is transformative. Now, let's say that a YouTuber, myself, is going to react to this video. I play it. I pause it a lot to make sure that I'm giving a lot of commentary, to make sure that I'm respecting fair use, to make sure that I'm transforming the content through giving you the reason, the idea, the response, for me doing this so that it is transformed, just like this is transformed. And I am, though, using these clips. Why? And so let's say that this person was to get mad at me because I pause my video too much, and they say, if you react to my channel, I'm going to strike you. You can't strike me for reacting to your video. You can't. Now, if I was just to play your video, you could, I guess. But if I'm fair use reacting to it, you can't. You'd be abusing the system. Also, the irony here, now remember what these little things are right here? These are, this shows that this is a transformative work, and this shows that I reacting to it is a transformative work. What is it that the thing that makes this transformative is the exact same thing that makes mine transformative? Let me explain. I'm watching clips of an intro. So I'm watching clips of an intro. Now I'm watching a clip from Molly's channel, right? Now I'm watching a clip of Betty's channel. And now I'm watching an outro. And all through it, I'm giving my commentary. All these lines are when I pause and give commentary. The exact same fair use tenets that allow this video to be made and not violate copyright are the exact same tenets of fair use that allow anyone then to react to that video. The majority of this video, the intro is only 15 seconds, the outro is 30 seconds. That's 45 seconds of an actual creation of this person, right? The intro and the outro. Well, no, because the intro and the outro, let's imagine that it's another person's video that they recorded. They hold the copyright to. They've given you permission to use it, but you have still are using someone else's work. This entire video would be composed of other people's work if you didn't generate your intro and outro through animation, through 3D, through 2D, or anything like that, right? In the same respect, my video has the intro and then Molly and then Betty and then the outro with a lot of my commentary in between it. So I've got, when I'm speaking and giving my points, I am giving you my actual copywritten content. I may be playing this intro for a moment or this Molly video for a moment, but tell me this right now. Does the top video own Molly's video? Who owns? Okay, so remember, Molly's video is right here and Betty's video is right here. And this makes up a clip video that's uploaded to a clip channel or a commentary channel. So this is Molly's and this is Betty's. Whose copyright is this? Is it the clip video's copyright or is it Molly's copyright? It's Molly's. Whose copyright is this? Is it Betty's? Is it the clip video's copyright? It is Betty's. It is Molly's copyright being used under fair use inside of this video. This is Betty's copyright being used under fair use inside of this video. it would be massively hypocritical if a clip channel said, I'm going to strike a reactor to my video for any reason other than them not being under fair use. The only reason you can file that copyright is if they're not doing it under fair use. You can't file the copyright for any other reason. Okay? So when people say, I'm mad at you, I'm going to strike you if you react to my video. No, you can't strike me for reacting to your video unless I don't transform the video and it's not fair use. Because once I've transformed the video, and if it's completely transformed, I've accomplished making my copyright apply to this. Yes, my copyright for this video includes my commentary with the intro and with Molly's copyright and with Betty's copyright and with the outro, but I'm allowed to use that under my copyright for my transformative creation. And some people in our community don't understand this. In fact, I would go as far as to say that Betty and Molly have no clue what fair use is. So the ultimate thing that decides whether you can be struck or not from a copy strike without them misusing the copyright system would be the tenets of fair use. So how do you know if you can file a copyright claim or not? You take the video to your lawyer, you have them look at it, and they'll tell you whether you can take the person to court because they violated your copyright through not having a transformative fair use reaction or whatever it may be, and then you file the strike. You don't just say, oh, hey, that's my video and they react to it and I'm mad right now or I don't like them, so I'm going to file a strike. It doesn't work like that. You could lose your channel from doing that, and this is why I'm trying to make sure that I explain this to people in a way that they can understand. Let me give you an example after I read this. Fair use is a copyrighted principle based on the belief that the public is entitled to freely use portions of copyrighted material for purposes of commentary and criticism. For example, if you wish to criticize a novelist, you should have the freedom to quote a portion of the novelist's work without asking permission. Just like if I'm going to cover something Molly said and it's in a clip channel, if I use where this person clipped it and I play just Molly's segment, I'm not violating your copyright. I would be violating Molly's only if what I did wasn't transformative and wasn't fair use. You feel me? Because for some reason, you get these clip channels out there and they may be mad today, they might not be mad tomorrow, and they'll threaten to strike somebody if they react to their stuff. They think that their clip channel video is some kind of completely transformative creation. Now, when you have somebody sitting down and actually recording themselves giving commentary and response, more than just some words that are put up on the screen or a small little sentence that's read, sure, that's a guaranteed transformative issue if it's transformative. So what makes it transformative? Are you actually criticizing? Does your criticism have a point? Or are you just sitting there going, I don't like this, play another clip. I don't like that, play another clip. Or are you actually explaining what it is that they're saying that's wrong, what it is that they're saying that's bad about what happened or something? You see where I'm going with this? And that could be like somebody could pull a clip channel's video and they're uploading a commentary, or they're uploading like a documentary kind of video trying to explain what fair use is, and they could grab a clip channel's video to try to express that, followed by someone else's video, play segments of all these different videos in this long thing that transforms it into an educational piece explaining fair use, which would be completely transformative. If you look at me reacting to a video, I will admit to you straight out, I'm reacting to their content. Whose content? Well, depending on what the clip channel has there, it would be some of Molly's copyright, some of Betty's copyright, and some of the clip channel's copyright. It's not all the clip channel's copyright there like they're acting like it is. It could be, depending on what happens. Do you feel me? Yes, in your face. When LB, Molly, Justin would play giant portions of Dre's videos just to put her down or insult her or lie about her, they were not meeting the burden of copyright, of fair use. Just them playing Dre's stuff to try to lie on Dre in general is not transformative. It's defamatory, one. It's not transformative defamatory content. It's just straight up defamatory content. They completely violated fair use, copyright, and many other things, harassment, bullying, slander, and all that when they did that to Dre. Yeah, good example. Let me see if we got any donos, because if not, I'm going to e-beg you guys for a minute, and then we're going to move on to something else. I'm just kidding. I'm just being silly. I thought I heard one come through is why I'm looking. Oh, thank you. So someone did. Let me see if I can. I got it. Oh, well, thank you very much. I'm going to send you a reply if it'll let me. It let me. I love you. Thank you. You're awesome. I really appreciate it. Because I know it's a little boring for me to break down fair use for you like I just did. But look, I know some creators out there got mad because of my last video. And I understand why. This is why I constantly said throughout that video that people shouldn't be watching my video, my live stream, my last one, unless they wanted to sit there and clown with me, because that's all I was going to do. I was too exhausted. I hadn't prepped the stream. I had just seen Chronicles of the Shadies video. I wanted to give it attention. I wanted to get people to click and subscribe and share it and watch it. And I wanted to do a genuine reaction to it, which I did in this stream, a proper one. And 2 days ago, I didn't. And I know people are upset in the community, okay? On both sides. And I've been around long enough to know that when communities have someone like Molly banned, it doesn't just affect Molly. It also affects the people that commentate on Molly, and it can be very scary for them. And I don't blame them. I'm not mad at them. They apply different if you're from Europe. Very true. They apply different depending on the country you're from. And if I'm transforming content from the United States, maybe I want to transform something that's from Europe. I can still do it. I can still have it played in the US. So what would happen if somebody from Europe decides that they want to try to hit me with a copy strike? They can try. They're going to apply the United States, because that's where I'm at, the United States laws of fair use to whether I did something right or wrong. And then they're going to apply Europe's, or wherever they're striking me from's, to their strike. Now, let's say that I did exercise fair use here, but because the laws are different, I didn't exercise fair use in their country. Am I going to get a strike? No. Because I'm not from their country, I don't have their laws applied to me. But of course, they're going to want their laws applying to my reaction, right? So does YouTube take down my video? No. They will make my video not able to be played in that area, and they'll still allow my video to be able to be played in the United States because my video adhered to the copyright law of the country that I'm from, where I put it out. Are you following me? It's very complicated. People on YouTube will try to make you think that they are fair use experts, right? I might know a little bit about it, but I am not a fair use expert. You would need a fair use lawyer to be a fair use expert. And this is why it's dangerous to play with the copyright system. I encourage all of you, and you can find copyright lawyers that are only $50 or $100 to help you with a strike, right? Because they're only doing a small thing to help you with that strike. They're not going to be going to court and representing you. And if they do, they'll charge you more. But you could have them for like $25. There's a guy out there that'll represent you so that you don't have to give your address and your name when someone strikes you. So my suggestion is, don't allow someone to false strike you. Don't feel nervous about appealing the false strike when you respond. Go out and find, whether it's on the internet or whether it's where you're from, someone who will bill you appropriately. It'll only take a few minutes of their time. They shouldn't even charge you a full hour. They probably will. And that might be $100, $80, depending on who's doing it. but make sure you don't allow people to do this to you. You have rights. When someone files a false fair use copy strike against you, it's akin to them trying to file in court a lawsuit against you to bully you and harass you when you didn't do anything wrong for this thing to be validly filed against you. It's the same concept. Feel me? So I just want you to follow me. I don't go around filing copy strikes on other people. The whole time I've been on YouTube, I think I've only had to file 2 copy strikes ever. And it was because I had, taken my edited videos back on my main channel, the one that had a bunch of subs and stuff and was on the front page of YouTube. And some dude saw that I was viral, getting a bunch of views, making a bunch of money, and he stole my entire video, just re-uploaded it to his channel and monetized it. And of course I struck him down so that I could hopefully get the money he made from that video put into my AdSense account and to have him punished from YouTube for doing that, because he broke the rules, broke the law to steal from me through the copyright system. Whether he intended it, understood it or not, it's what he did. It's completely different, though, than if that person decided they were going to take my video that was viral at the time and do a reaction to it. I wouldn't have been able to strike them as long as it was transformative, it followed the tenets of fair use. You see some of these potato heads. They think they can pull up their stream, and if they sit there and go, wow, no way, every 45 seconds, every 5 minutes that they are protected. No, they're not. That's not transformative. What did they say? Can you look at them and say they made overarching points throughout the whole thing from here to here to here to here to here, and because when the video is done, instead of me watching the original video, I now hear their criticism of the video, the education they put in to link me to these reasons that they criticized and explanations that they criticized, and in the end, I knew more about the original video to criticize it because I watched their video. That would be transformative. But if they were to go and say, 3 minutes later, no way, 5 minutes later, that's crazy. Did I learn anything? Was there criticism? Was there commentary? Was there some form of content that transformed the original video? No, it was just a bunch of, wow, that sucks. I don't like that. You see what I'm saying? That's not transformative. So people will simplify, they'll overly simplify what a fair use strike is, and they won't go out and study it to any, like you can go to your YouTube studio and go watch hundreds of videos through the YouTube content creator program, and they'll educate you on all of these things. And a lot of people just won't do it. They'll just float around thinking that they know what they're talking about, or that because they read a paragraph, now they understand if you can file a strike or not. And in reality, I would say 99% of everybody out there who goes around filing strikes has no clue whether they are filing the strike appropriately or not. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't, but they have no clue. I just wanted to get that out. I just wanted to say that. But the main thing I want to say is, for any creator out there who got mad at me in the last few days from our community, I'm talking to people in our community, and maybe threatened to strike me or was trying to be mean or whatever, I'm not mad at you. I get it. A lot of things are changing right now. Some people would blame me because their community has been shaken up a lot, and because I am cognizant of that, because I respect that they're human beings and they're going through something that's drastically changed something that they very much care about, and that they really don't know how to feel about this. Instead of me making judgments when people react like this, what I do, because I've learned how to deal with this over years, is I try to give them the benefit of the doubt, give them time to cool down. Maybe after they've cooled down, see if they still feel the same way, or if everything's cool now. If they still feel the same way, I try to sit down and talk to them. I try to let them know, why it is that I did what I did and everything else. And I always make sure to stress to them with examples and proof how I'm going out of my way to spend enormous amounts of time actually studying things like fair use and studying things like the system that we're using, so that I can respect the people that I react to, and I can respect the people that we are commentating on that I don't even like. And again, you respect other people with your channel because you want your channel to be respected. You want people to know that you're taking things seriously and that you're not flippant with another person's opinion or speech. These things should be very important to us. Someone else's opinion, whether we agree to it or not. If they have dialogue, if they discuss things, they could learn the thing that could take them further to where they're not making the mistakes that they're making, infringing on someone else's speech through their threats or through their issue. And they could learn that if you give them the charity of responding to them in an understanding way, knowing that things in their community have been shaken up. But remember, I didn't do this. I came in here and have given you my honest reaction, my honest tracking and archiving of what is really going on out there in this community. I've given you my honest response to that history, to that archive, and I've done everything in my power to try and help grow the community while I'm here, to try to help link people together, to try to help give people a confidence that they can beat false strikes, they can beat the doxing and the bullying from these people, they can go to YouTube, they can have the rules applied and save their community from the gatekeeping bullies that are trying to rob them, the real creators of the community, because that's what Molly and the Potato Heads and Justin and LB and Laura and all of them are doing. They're trying to give themselves an unfair advantage while using these dastardly tactics so that they can make money that should be in your pocket as the people that really are putting out the honest content in the community. You feel me? I'm used to communities hating me after I'm done coming through. It doesn't mean I hate them back. It doesn't mean that I'm going to ever judge them for how they feel about me. I understand that the role that we're in, and I understand the change that's been made to this community. Though, the last thing here, please, I've been through this 1,000 times. I've helped thousands of communities. Seriously. This is the best thing that could have ever happened for your community, even if you don't see it now. Because the good creators, now that they don't have the abusive people out there abusing the system and tearing down smaller creators, you're finally going to get your community to have people that are good creators pulled to the top. And when you get good creators pulled to the top of a community, your community gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. When you've got cheaters like Laura, the Potato Heads, Molly, Betty, and them in your communities, and they're trying to break the rules and give themselves an advantage over other people that are the good creators, your communities shrink because they make it hard for people to find the good content. You have to get these kind of people out of your communities. You have to. Because if you don't, they are always going to break the rules, file strikes, mute their competition so that they can be the one making the money when it should be the creators that are creative, the ones that are putting out good commentary, the ones that are actually giving a good response. You feel me? They get in the way of those people. They prevent those people from coming up to the top. Now that Molly's gone, if the community just bangs it out, yeah, it'll be a new creators. Some creators that maybe weren't as big will be bigger. Maybe some of the bigger creators are going to get even bigger. But either way, your community is going to grow and grow and grow. And what happens when that happens? Even the smaller creators in your community are going to get way bigger if your community gets way bigger. Your community, if the doors are opened, if people are trying to work together despite their differences or despite their misunderstandings and actually talk and get through things, that's when your community will not only have the bigger creators grow more and more, but the smaller ones will by default too. Sometimes a smaller creator will skyrocket past everybody else. You know? This is the true moment for your community to shine. What did we actually do? I've got 2 points. Terms of service, I handled that. So what did we actually do? What just happened in the last week, ever since Molly was banned? What led up to Molly being banned? And after Molly's been banned, what happened? I'll tell you. We came here, gave our opinion. I'm talking about a bunch of creators. Gave our opinion, made our content, and showed people the truth of what was going on. That's what we did. We did not incite mass flagging. We are allowed. Again, if I tune into Molly because of the Letitia fundraiser, and a few weeks later I notice that she's doxing the shit out of everybody and their mom, right? If I do that, if I tune in, thank you. I appreciate you very much. If I tune in and notice, after I've been reacting to the Letitia fundraiser for a while trying to figure it out, and I notice Molly is doxing everybody and their mom, and I sit here and say, you're going to get banned for doing that. People are going to report you and ban you for doing that. That's not mass flagging. I am allowed to give my opinion. I do not care what a potato head, uneducated, not smart, lying, dishonest, entitled, sexually degenerate talking little perv bag tries to say to mute my opinion. Okay? I don't care what these liars try to say to mute my opinion. I can get up here, and if Molly didn't want creators giving an honest reaction to her constant breaking of TOS, she shouldn't have did it. But me saying that she's broke the rules and she's going to lose her channel if people report it is not mass reporting. Mass reporting would be what I showed you in the beginning and in the middle of this, where these people have said, hey, audience, go do your thing and get rid of this channel, or go strike this channel, or go do this or that, which Molly, Dolly, and Betty do over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then they pay people like the potato heads to lie for them. Fact. Got me? Are they being honest with you when they're sitting there going, we got to go take these channels down and strike them? I played the video clips of Molly and Betty. So those potato heads, they're rushing straight to their channels right now so they can take the Chronicles of the Shady video right now and expose Molly and Betty for mass flagging, right? Because they all care about mass flagging so much. Oh, the potato heads aren't going to do that because they are the mass flaggers and the liars, and they're just putting on an act for you. Oh, I see. But the point is, an honest reaction is not mass reporting. Now, if my honest reaction is to say, hey, audience, go mass report, that's mass reporting. That's an honest reaction and mass reporting. But mass reporting isn't an honest reaction anyway. So the thing is, they always want you to second guess yourself. Even when you're being honest, even when you're going by the facts, even when you're being extremely thorough, spending hours and hours and hours fact checking and putting together what you're going to show people, they still want you to feel like you're doing something wrong by getting up here and giving an honest reaction to what is truly happening in the community, because they are too dumb to understand how to place blame correctly. The blame is placed on Betty for doxing kids constantly, JLR for stalking and going after kids, Molly for doing what she did to the Airbnb and doxing that woman's license. It's not on a creator that makes a video about what they did or goes live about what they did and gives their honest reaction to what's happening. Okay? That's just a fact. I'm going to tell you this right now before I do another real quick check to make sure I got everything we need right now. I got some JLR and I got some Betty. Oh, I'm so glad people are letting me know that JLR and Betty have been threatening to try to dox me, because, oh man, I needed that kick in the ass to get Team YouTube looking at those two channels. Thank you, Betty and JLR. And every single time, Betty, you or JLR threaten, dox, go after anyone else, every time you do it, I'm going to make you a promise. I'm going to tag Team YouTube every time you do it from now on. How long did it take from when I first started tagging Team YouTube with Molly's doxings until she got banned? About 8 months, 10 months. But the thing is, YouTube's already looking at your community. So y'all, JLR and Betty, I would say you better stop doxing and going after people, because I'm going to tell you now that YouTube's already looking in your community, it's not going to take them as long to look at what you're doing the next time you guys do this. And now that I've been warned about JLR and Betty doing this, if I get any threats, if I get anyone messing with me or messing with my family, I'm going to immediately know who's doing it. So I'm really glad I was given that information today. Mass reporting for a valid reason is not brigading or mass reporting. Very true, Daryl. Very true. Because YouTube, what does YouTube tell you to do? If you know that someone is doxing somebody else live on their stream, they say to go report it. Do they not? Go report it. Go tag team YouTube and let them know what's going on. That is the instruction from YouTube. They are so dumb. Listen to these potato heads. They are so out of their mind dumb. And too busy talking about my pee-pee and Glaire's pee-pee and Tim's pee-pee. One of my mods do me a favor. Oh, it's on my community tab. Never mind. I know where it's at. I want to show you guys this. Hold on. Let me show you this before I continue. I don't want to forget. I'll forget if I don't show you. Look at this. They are too busy. They're live talking about a boy that's been murmured, watching his trial for what happened to him. Who has the smaller penis? The Glairer, 28%, UNIRock, 47, B Tim, 26. These other two guys must have giant thingies. They must be huge if mine's the smallest. I'll tell you that right now. I'll tell you that right now. They must have some freaking, they must be packing if mine's the smallest out of the group. I'm just saying. Now, also I'll address what she calls me, unicock. The word uni refers to one or the one. The word cock refers to my thingy. So you're saying I have one thingy. Why is that some type of insult or controversial statement? Like, I don't get why that's a controversial statement to call me unicock. I mean, yeah, you're obsessed with the thing in my pants. Even though, Laura, I've told you a million times, I've been with my girlfriend for over 10 years. I love her. I'm not going to cheat on her or anything like that. I'm monogamous or whatever it's called. Laura is an idiot. Is she a pervert? Is that what it is? Because I know I've been getting all, you don't know how many times Molly's people that hang out in Molly's followers and stuff have been messaging me telling me that Laura's got a huge crush on me and the Glairer. I was told that Laura has a Glairer poster above her bed, like on the ceiling, right? And you're like, why would anyone put a poster on the ceiling? No one's going to see it. When she lays down to go to bed at night, she going to be looking in the Glairer's eyes. Okay? Let that sink in. It's like, why don't you just express your love to him? Laura, why don't you just ask him on a date instead of sitting here constantly talking about his junk and stuff? I mean, I don't get it, Laura. He'd probably hang out with you. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, Kristen! Oh my heavens, are you okay? You don't tell me right now. Don't tell me right now. I'll ask you later, okay? Thank you so much. I hope everything's okay, all right? We'll talk about it whenever you're free, but I hope everything's okay. I don't know if you know, I found out my back pain is from, I didn't even tell you guys yet. Remember how I had good news? She is a pervert. Have you heard Laura's story where she tests if her boyfriend was attracted to her 5-year-old and called her 5-year-old flirty? I didn't even mean for that to happen. I dropped my vape, but it's so perfect. Breaking news! Breaking news on Uni News tonight, right now. Stalker and obsessive UNIRock obsessed woman, Laura, who also has a massive crush on the Glairer, and Molly both have been exposed tonight for being uber pervs and having really weird things they've said about kids. Wow. Texan says, I don't agree with Laura did with the poll at all. Well, listen, I'm going to give you my criticism because you know how I do this, right? I'm a commentator, so I'm weighed on how I respond to something. Like, I'm judged by you and if I do a good job or not based on my response. And I have the perfect response for this. What if I had put a poll out like this about Molly, Laura, and LB? What if I had done a poll about their, thing down there on the three of them? What would they say about me? What would they say about me? Because whatever they would say about me is true about them for doing it. You feel me? Just because I'm a dude and the Glare is a dude and Tim's a dude and Laura's the woman, it doesn't mean it's any different if the gender role was switched. Right? Because if I had done that, they would say that I'm being perverted and creepy and disgusting and all this stuff, right? I'm being inappropriate. I'm being sexually harassy, right? That's exactly what Laura's doing. She's being pervy, gross, and sexually harassy. Anyone that would say that about their kid doesn't deserve to criticize anybody. You need to get your head straight. You need to get your head straight, Laura. Wow. Exactly, Barbie. They'd have me reported. They'd come at me, And look, if she wants to compliment all three of us like this, I don't mind. I mean, it is a pretty nice compliment because nothing here says that any of our stuff is small. Mine is like big, right? And then I guess Tim and the Glares must be like extremely big. Yeah, that still works. That's the truth, and that works in this poll. She didn't vote and say who has a small one, right? Okay, let's say we're talking about carrots. All right, let me show you what I mean. Let's say we're talking about carrots, okay? So the Glare has a carrot, Tim has a carrot, and Uni has a carrot, okay? So let's say that the Glare's carrot is like a really big, like this is a 2-foot carrot. Let's say Tim's carrot is 1 foot 6 inches, okay? So right, and then let's say my carrot is a foot plus an inch, right? Those are some big carrots, y'all. Those are some really big carrots, guys. So I mean, I get it. She's obsessed with our carrots and how they're all very, very big based on how she wrote this poll. I mean, because obviously if she wanted to insinuate that any of us have a small one, she would have reworded it. Because she knows that none of us do have a small one, she said it like this. So I do appreciate that, Laura, but I will ask you politely, stop talking about my uni ball or my uni chicken, please. I don't want to say cock. I'm going to say chicken. They would declare it harassment for sure. Thank you, R-Top. They would declare it harassment. I believe you, Damien. Everybody in this community they're doing real good. We all doing real good. It's why we're so chill. It's why we're always laughing and joking around, y'all. You know what they say? When people are angry and mad all the time, they're compensating. Well, we're never angry and mad. We're just having fun over here. So yeah, I mean, I get it. She was going to say these three have small chickens, but she realized that it's not true. So she had to write who has the smallest of the super big chickens. That's what she did. So thank you, Laura, for acknowledging our super big chickens. But please, You know that if I wrote about your chicken, you would get really mad at me and you would say that I'm harassing you, and that's why I'm not going to. I'm not like you. I don't need to do these kind of things to you to expose how much of a pathological lying narcissist that you are. I can just show the hard evidence that you're constantly pathologically lying. I don't have to do this to you in order to show that you are a scammer. I've already proven that you're a scammer, along with the potato heads and Molly trying to lie to Molly's core audience so that all three of you can gain monetarily through the lies you're telling and trying to convince them of a bad definition for mass reporting, and then lying about what mass reporting is, and then defaming and slandering all the creators you listed because you made this claim, but you have no evidence to back it up. While the kicker here, the huge kicker here is that we have massive evidence to back up that Molly, Betty, JLR, and Dolly all are the real mass reporters. Now remember, according to the last thing I'll say, because I want to get out of here, the last thing I'll say, because I'm feeling extremely I'm feeling really cocky right now after Laura's complimentary poll about me and Tim and the glare, but as I should feel cocky, right? I mean, it's hard not to when you're packing a carrot like that, but I'm just saying. Okay, I'll stop. I'm just flipping it on. I'm flipping her little game back on her because she's too dumb to even write it properly, right? Though, we can fact check my last bit of commentary. We can fact check whether the potato heads and Laura and Molly really are pathological lying narcissists that are scamming their audience with the lies they're telling, or whether they're being honest. And I'll tell you how right now. Girls have carrot envy over there. Wow. Yeah, man, they be having that carrot envy. They turn in green with carrot envy. They turn in orange with carrot envy. Maybe that's Justin's problem. Maybe that's Justin's problem. Yeah. Maybe that's why Justin turned orange. He's turning orange with carrot envy. So I will give Laura, the potato heads, and Molly a way to prove that they're honest. See, they wanted you to believe, and their audience, they wanted all of the people out there on YouTube to believe that they care a lot about false reporting and mass reporting, right? They want you to believe they care about mass and false reporting. And because we, thanks to Chronicles of the Shady for putting this together, have that evidence now of who the real mass reporting and the real false reporters are, and because they have no evidence, they either will admit that they've lied by not showing this video, or they'll take this video, all the potato heads and Molly, they'll take this video and they will show it. They'll apologize to everybody and admit that the real mass reporters and the real TOS breakers are them. Right? If they want to be able to prove that they're not actively lying, they can show us they made a mistake, apologize to all the creators they put on that list, and show and expose the real mass reporting and the real false striking. Because in just a 3-minute and 53-second video that Chronicles of the Shady put together, which doesn't even include 3% of all of their clips of doxing, mass reporting, and false reporting, just this video alone completely exposes the truth. Now remember, if Laura and the potato heads don't rush to their channels like nowish, like tonight, they don't throw their streams on and they don't grab this from Chronicles of the Shady and they just rage out on all of the mass reporting, all the false reporting from Betty, from Dolly, from Molly, from Jilly Bean, from Gina, from Betty, from Dolly, from Molly, from Betty, from Dolly, and Betty and Molly. Thank you, Kitten Claus. That's what I hope you judge me on. My commentary. That's what I hope at the end of the day you judge me on. Make that be the determination whether you support me, whether you stay and watch my show and subscribe, like the video. Judge me on my commentary, okay? Keep an eye out. This weekend, I'm going to be blasting y'all with some content. I will be live tomorrow to make up for the fact that I wasn't live yesterday. I took the day off. I was exhausted. I listened to you guys. I took the day off. So we're going to make up for it tomorrow in the evening because I have church in the morning and I'm going to go do some family stuff right after that. I just want to let you know that I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. You know, any creator out there in this community, I still support you. I haven't changed my opinion or my mind about anybody, regardless of whether you've been mad at me lately or not. I feel that our community should be big enough to where we can let people know when we're mad at each other, but still be able to talk to each other once things calm down and work our differences out. So whenever any creator out there from our community who might be mad at me ends up calming down a little bit and they want to come talk, my platform's open, or if they'd rather talk on their platform or just behind the scenes, just hit us up. I'll be here waiting on you. And regardless of how someone feels about me, that doesn't change the way that I feel about the community or the people in it. I will see you tomorrow. Now, you get up in this tomorrow morning and have a great Easter. Have a great time. Spend some time with the fam. And if you are busy, if you're alone, if you've already gotten your family stuff out of the way and you're not going to have anything to do tomorrow, jump in here tomorrow evening. We're going to be chilling. We're going to be hooking you up with some stuff, and we're going to be having a good old-fashioned old time. See you soon. Peace.